right, ladies and germs, y'all know what time it is. Time for the late night box talk. Gonna talk some boxing on late night. And yeah, man, the Spence conversation has dominated the Spence conversation seems to be dominating the boxing talk right now. It seems to be something that's on everybody's mind because the news just broke that he's gonna be fighting Ugass. Those of you that follow the channel know I was never holding my breath to see this fight. I've been convinced for at least 3 years now that this fight would never happen. I look at the situation now, and I feel like it's even more. I feel like there are even more issues now that indicate that the fight won't happen. You know what I mean? Was Goody Punch Perfect? Was Goody So Much? Was Goody Daniel? Was Goody PBC Prison? Rider of the Storm? SSC? Julio? Buried Rhythms? And yeah, I just feel like, I feel like it's too many things that's going on that kind of show you that, like, that fight is probably not never gonna happen. And listen, those of y'all that have been with the channel for a long time, y'all know I ain't just start saying that all of a sudden. I've been saying that. They're like, yo, look, dog, the way that cat is moving, he could go his whole career never fighting Terrence Crawford, and he don't care because they're focused on different things. Errol and them guys over there, they not no legacy kind of like fighters, and I know that that's a very. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. All right, yeah. Just back to what I was saying. Uh, those guys over there don't want to go above and beyond. You understand? They want shortcuts, and that's what you could see. Like they want shortcuts. Like Errol want to unify titles. He do, but he don't want to have to go through the hard guy to do that. Like he don't, because you can't sit there for 3 or 4 years saying that I'm the A side and I'm the big fish, but you don't do nothing to make the fight. Motherfuckers will say shit on social media all day, but when you the A side, it's on you to make the fight. That's how that go. It's on you because you're the A side fighter. The revenue for the fight, presumably, would be coming from you. And for the last 4 years, what has Errol been saying? That he's the A side fighter. He's the A side. All right, if you the A side, then it's on you to make the fight. Now, because he has a cluster of fans that are willing to forgive him for not making a fight, I appreciate that, Drew. Heavy duty. Like I said on Twitter, Errol been at 147 damn near a decade trying to clean it out, but Canelo is a duck. We not staying it's a bad fight. It's not a pay-per-view fight. This is what I'm going to say, Drew. Terrence Crawford, when you look at the numbers that's out there for Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter, there are that pay-per-view sold more than the Charlo pay-per-view. So if Terrence Crawford selling more than the Charlos can't get a Spence fight, then why the fuck is Jermall Charlo supposed to get a Canelo fight? Make it make sense. Remember, the numbers that's out there for Crawford is between 135 and 190. Those is both the sets of numbers that's out there. 135 and 190. The numbers that's out there for the Charlo pay-per-view is a little under 100,000. So if you telling me that Crawford selling more than Charlo can't get an Errol Spence fight, right? Then Charlo shouldn't get a Canelo fight. Simple. Because you can't even sell more than you can't sell more than Crawford. And what do Crawford's critics like to say? Oh, that dude couldn't sell out a motherfucking auditorium. Neither can the Charlos. So stop telling Canelo to fight them. Make it make sense. I'm using their logic. I was Goody standing 8. What's up, Julius? There was never any chance Spence would fight Crawford. At this point, he is good for Crawford, and Al would rather feed him to one of their own. That's how I see it, bro. But there's too much that's building, and that's what I noticed, that Virgil Ortiz is very close to becoming a WBC mandatory challenger. Jaron Boots Ennis is very close to becoming an IBF mandatory challenger. On top of that, you still got the winner of Stanionis versus Butaev. You'll notice that they put that fight as the co-main event to the main event. They put that as the co-main, the Spence versus Ugass. Why do you think that is? Think about it. They put that fight as the co-main event to the main event. Why do you think that is? None of this shit is complicated. It's not like it's some kind of fucking secret that needs to be deciphered. If they put Butaev versus Stanionis on the co-main, what do you think happens after that? Do you think he fights Crawford after that? You laid down the blueprint, Jules. Ortiz, Ennis, Stanionis not taking no step aside money. Spence won't be Hall of Fame, and Errol won't win a belt. I said, yo, bro, that's what I've been saying. Unless every belt at 154 goes vacant, because we know that the undisputed title fight is early next year at 154. After that, I'm gonna assume that the winner of that fight, they're not going to stay at 154. I think the winner of that fight is going to be Jermell, by the way. And I'm going to assume that he's not going to stay there. I'm going to assume that he's going to move up to 160. I'm going to assume that Jermall maybe moves up to 168, right? That they're going to cycle him up that way. And what Errol might do, depending on when the fight is after the Ugass fight, he'll move up because there's too many people on his neck. It ain't just Crawford. It's Ennis, it's Ortiz, it's the winner of Stanionis versus Butaev. It ain't like it's just Bud that's on his neck. You got 3-4 different people on your neck, and you ain't fought but one time in the last 2 years. You ain't fought but once. I don't think about that fight in the same scope as Usyk versus Fury, or Joshua versus Fury if he beats Usyk in a rematch. I don't think of that fight in that scope because to me, a dude that only fought once in the last 2 years, how good is he? What kind of condition is he in that he only fought once in the last 2 years? That tell me everything I need to know. The dude fought once in the last 2 years, right? Well, that ain't good. It can't be a good reason behind that. Can't be anything good. I was goody Marcel Roman Legion. Butcher's Bucket. Spence is draining himself for so long at 147 that he will end up with the poochong power of a drunk baby. Or punching power. You right. Look, I'm gonna say this, Butcher. I said that I feel that he's been at welterweight too long, and that's why the power that he used to have, he don't have it no more. There was a time when he looked like a real strong puncher, but that was a really long time ago, dog. Like, man down, like when the last time? Talk about it, Jules. Jermell moves up and he has to cross the street to get a belt at 160. And they won't favor him over Munguia. Exactly. Because I talked about that in another live, that if it comes down to ordering Munguia versus Charlo for the green belt, we know Mauricio wants to put that belt in the hands of a Mexican fighter. We know that. That's how he rolled. That's what he want to do. So when it come down to the come down, what you then have to ask is, okay, would the WBC order the fight? Yes. Would they offer Munguia the right type of money for the fight? I don't know. Is it more likely that Jermall moves up and they vacate the title and just leave it? That's probable. That's probable. Or what they could do is, let's say Jermell beats Brian in the rematch. What they could do is, okay, you were the undisputed champion at 154 pounds, right? The WBC might say, okay, well, we'll let you fight for the vacant title if Jermell ends up vacating the title. It's like them dudes is not trying to fight shit, essentially. I don't understand why it goes over people's heads, what it is about the PBC that people don't like. I don't know why people choose to be blind to this, that it's like, yo, dog, y'all trying to make this shit about something that it ain't. The reason people don't like the PBC is because they don't want to make the right fights. They block fights. They fuck up fights. If not for Leo Santa Cruz, there would have been a unified champion at 126. But because of Leo fucking Santa Cruz, nobody unified shit. He didn't want to unify with Gary, and he didn't vacate the title. So Kansu never got elevated. So they never made the Warrington fight. So we never got a unification match. This is what people don't like about the PBC. This is what I don't like about the PBC. Jules, we also know the alphabet organizations will not rush Canelo to do anything at 168 to keep him happy. PBC has no leverage at 160 or 168, which affects 154. Right now, what they're hoping is that Canelo Alvarez is very close to vacating those super middleweight titles. I imagine they're hoping for that because there were no titles for them to fight for at 175. They just tried to send Marcus out there to get a belt. Marcus wanted to fight Better Beef, and we saw the fight. We saw what happened. The PBC has no prize stallions at light heavyweight, but they got a couple of guys at super middleweight. They got David Morrell, they got Caleb Plant, they got David Benavidez. Very soon, they could move Jermall Charlo up there, but they need belts. They can't just, they're not just going to have him fighting to be fighting. They need belts. So they need Canelo to vacate them shits. He couldn't get Mikey out of there. Maybe he drinks too much because he has no control over his own career. I don't know, man. Some people have compulsive behaviors that lead them to addiction. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's like weed. All my friends, when I was young, weed stuck to them, but weed never stuck to me. Like, I didn't like it. Like, nah, I don't like being dopey. I don't like that. But you know, a lot of people like it, but I don't like it. I don't have that compulsive behavior that I need to be high. I don't have that. But a lot of other people do. I don't judge them. I just know that I don't have that. Spence is their last cash cow, if anything. And you have to question, which I said in a video, one of the last episodes of the relay, you have to question, yo, if the Danny Garcia fight only did like 250, that's the number they put out there. I don't believe that number if I'm being real with you. I believe it probably did like 200 at best or 220, but I don't actually believe it did what they say it did. But for argument's sake, I'll go with that number. So let's say that Spence versus Garcia only did 250 late last year. What you gonna do with Ugass? Motherfuckers don't know Ugass. Oh, because he fought Pacquiao, man. Motherfuckers didn't buy that fight. You see what I mean? Look at the Pacquiao versus Ugass numbers. Damn near nobody bought that fight. That was probably Manny Pacquiao's worst set of numbers, right? So you got Spence and you got Ugass, and I'm not saying what it will or won't do. I'm asking a question. Does Spence versus Ugass sell more than Spence versus Garcia? That's a legitimate question because more people know Danny Garcia because of the Amir Khan fight, the Lucas Mathise fight, the Thurman fight, the Porter fight. They know him because of that. What they know Ugass from? Oh, you beat old Manny that didn't fight in mad fucking years. That's not going to make you a big star. I was goody low key, was goody virtuoso. You know what I mean? It's a lot of little things I see in there that it's like, yo, what I see is if they gonna save this guy, he can't stay at welterweight. He can't. It's too many people on his neck. Ennis is on his neck. Ortiz is on his neck. Bud been on his neck. The winner of Butayev versus Stanionis, they gonna be on his neck depending on who it is. You know what I mean? Can you get if Stanionis hypothetically were to beat Butayev, would he step aside twice? Because what they saying is, oh, well, I like the Ugass fight because then we could get undisputed with Crawford. Well, who the fuck said he gonna fight Crawford after Ugass? Because he didn't say that. Jules, it seems Cartel Canelo talking back at those saying he ducking PBC guys. He could flex and fight a stay busy Mando at 168, and a Triple G fight is there too. Well, more importantly, look, Canelo is big enough around the world that motherfuckers is not thinking about the people who names they mentioning. Who is waiting for David Benavidez's next fight? Who? Who's waiting for Charlo next fight? Who? The dudes on Twitter that don't buy shit? Who? J Rod says, are you going to buy the Spence versus Ugass pay-per-view? I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to boycott it. I want to boycott it because I feel like they're taking the boxing fans for a ride. But I like Stanionis versus Butaev. That's a good fight. And Spence versus Ugas is not a bad fight. It's not. But it shouldn't be on pay-per-view. That's my thing. That's Drew's thing too. That it's not a bad fight, but shouldn't you put that on Fox so that more people could see it? You literally putting everything on pay-per-view. Charles Martin versus Luis Ortiz. Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios. Errol Spence versus Yordanis Ugas. That's already three. And 2022 hasn't even started yet. And that's already three. Three pay-per-views. It's like that would be a dope card to do on Fox and let the fans see it, let them take it in. That shit could do 4 or 5 million views. But because of the purse demands of the fighters, Fox ain't down to spend no money paying y'all. So it's like, yo, if y'all want all that money, put that shit on pay-per-view, because we not gonna give y'all all that. You want how much? Nah, I'm good. You put that on pay-per-view. Luis Puente says, but how does Spence survive 154? I don't see it. Bro, I don't see it. I've been saying that dude is not what they think he is, and at 154, he'll get exposed. If Ugas don't expose him, bro, you can't go 12 with a fucking blown up lightweight and you gonna move up and knock motherfuckers out at 154? Really? Nah, come on, man. We seen the Porter fight. Porter caught him with an overhand that Porter caught him with an overhand that he was stunned. So it's like, yo, he don't got the power. He don't have the size. Errol is big for welter, but he not big for no motherfucking junior middle. This guy's 6 feet tall up there. PBC prison warden says, just got off the phone with Al. Operation Get the Fuck Out of Here has been initiated. Jules, using your Capricorn crystal ball, how do you see these three waiting classes playing out in 2022? Spence runs, yeah, I think he does, because think about it. Ennis is not a PBC fighter, right? He's not a PBC fighter. He's a Showtime fighter. That means that Al don't tell him what to do. He's not an Al Heyman fighter. So when it comes time for him to hit the gas with the IBF, what are they gonna do? And that's just Ennis. That's just Ennis. Ennis is not a PBC fighter. He is not a Heyman fighter. His promoter has a contract for him with Showtime, but he's not a Heyman fighter. So that means he don't control him. When he wants his shot and he sees he could get it, then he gonna try to get it. Spence, what you gonna do? You gonna vacate in front of all these people? You gonna stay here but give him that red belt? You got Ortiz. You know damn good and well Mauricio would like to put that WBC title in Ortiz's hands. So if that fight get ordered, does that fight happen? Then you got the winner of Stanionis versus Butaev, regardless of who it is. The winner of that fight, can you get them to step aside? Let's say it's Stanionis. Can you get Stanionis to step aside 2 times? Can you do that? And two, will the WBA allow you to do that? Because they already allowed you to work something out here and now. Are they going to let you do that again? Assuming you fight Crawford, which brings us to the next question. Do y'all really think Errol want to fight Crawford? Because for all of that shit I just said to happen, he has to try to fight Crawford. I don't think he want to fight Crawford. So I don't think it's going to come to that. What might happen, he might, if he beat Ugass, he'll chill out for a little while, go up to 54. If he beat Ugass. I don't see that fight happening. I would like to be wrong, but I don't see that fight happening. What will Spence's cologne be called? Spent? Ugass already down 117, 110. Yeah, be like that whole shit. Like, look, man. That shit is not a sport, bro. Like, I know boxing is a business, and I understand that. But all sports are a business. And what they're doing to the sport of boxing, they're making to where you don't even want to bother with that shit. Like, why bother talking about Crawford versus Spence, bro? It's been 4 years. This is not Maypac. You cannot apply that formula to everything. You know what I mean? Like, what made Maypac big is Manny was selling a lot of pay-per-views and Floyd was selling a lot of pay-per-views and they was fighting people. You know what I mean? Y'all froze Bud out. Y'all did not let him have them big. Y'all froze him out. So it can't be Maypac. That didn't happen in Maypac. Floyd was doing his numbers. Manny was doing his numbers. Wasn't nobody getting frozen out. Y'all froze him out. So he don't even do numbers. 154, 168, PBC guys all waiting around to see what Canelo is doing is indicative of PBC having no money and not wanting to fight anybody with a pulse. Look, if they were smart, they would make like a bonanza card. A bonanza card like, yo, you know what? Y'all motherfuckers gonna have to earn y'all money because this what we finna do. We finna put Caleb Plant in there with, we gonna put him in there with Jerm Marcello. And we gonna put David Benavidez in there with David Morrell. We're gonna put the price point of this pay-per-view at about $40. Y'all ain't fighting for belts. Y'all fighting for y'all salary now. Y'all fighting for y'all contracts because we ain't got no belts for y'all to fight. We don't. We got to put content out there, but we ain't got no belts for y'all to fight. So what we could do is we could try to get y'all this bread by doing this bonanza. Now I know that that's probably not going to happen, but it's like, yo, what they going to do? They all going to sit out inactive? They all going to wait for Canelo to come back? What y'all going to do? You can't keep fighting guys like Tyrone Davis. You can't keep fighting people like that. Charlo can't keep fighting Juan Montiels. What y'all gonna do? The shit is wild, B. The shit is wild. Like, to me, I don't really like talking about the Spence versus Crawford shit. It's just that that's what's in the news right now, so I gotta talk about it. But being real, I don't like talking about no fucking fight that I know ain't gonna happen. In 2018, I said that shit ain't gonna happen. In 2019, I said that shit ain't gonna happen. In 2020, I said that shit ain't gonna happen. And here this year, at the beginning, I said they ain't gonna fight. I've been saying this shit year after year. Yo, they not gonna fight this year, man. They ain't gonna fight. I don't know if they ever gonna fight, but it ain't gonna be this year. And that's been the story for the last 4 years. So I'm like, yo, dog, why we on this? If it's a couple of guys that don't want to admit that Errol is ducking, hey, I don't give a fuck what you think about boxing. I don't need to be arguing with you about that. I know what I see. I know what I see. You don't like that fight. You never like that fight. That's why you willing to fight with Sean and Danny and all the. You willing to fight everybody because you don't like that fight. Your motherfucking strength and conditioning coach, he trying to run interference for you on Instagram. Ain't nobody hearing that shit. Oh, fake ass Future. Ain't nobody hearing that shit. The fuck you mean? The dude said Errol has a better jab than Crawford. If that's true, then why Errol got hit more by Sean than Crawford? Why did Sean hit Errol so much more than he hit Crawford if Errol got a better jab or if Errol got better feet? Make that shit make sense. You know that I asked him that on Instagram. I left it in the comments of the video. Go to Blu-ray Fitness and you'll see, I said it right there. Like, yo, if he got a better jab than Errol, why did Sean hit Errol more than Crawford? Make it make sense. Because it don't. Shout out to Ronnie. Get ready for the excuses when that Dallas Pirate looked lackluster at 154. Errol stayed at 147. A prime Errol would have won excuses on deck. Yo, look, man, nothing would surprise me at this point. It wouldn't surprise me if Ugass beat him. It wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. The man has fought once in the last 2 years. What does that tell you about that man? That he only fought once? Why? What's the matter with you? Most of last year, he wasn't medically cleared to fight. He has the Garcia fight at the end of the year, only for him to get injured again. Does that sound like a dude that's 100? Nah, he not 100. And I said it after the accident. I'm like, yo, that dude is damaged goods. You can't be in an accident like that and you just gonna be regular. I know they saying that he ain't break no bones. And man, listen, man. You don't be in an accident like that and everything is normal. Nah. Wrong boy in the building. Jules Fox telling Al put them that trash on pay-per-view because you only getting them prelim money. That deal ain't of course not, bro. When I see that proliferation of pay-per-views, that tells me they not really giving you a budget to do no shows. Not really. Not if you gotta put everything on pay-per-view, hoping that we buy the shit. That tell me that Fox don't want to spend no money. It's obvious. And if they don't want to spend no money, why would that be? Well, this is the last year on the contract. This is the fourth year. It don't that tell me, yo, they not going to renew, bro. They not going to renew. It's just a lot of bullshit, man. All right, I'm about to post a link in the chat. Open up the conversation. But yeah, man. Just watch if Spence beats Ugass. I bet he will move to 154 to duck. Yeah, man. Look, I've been saying the same shit. Like it's on repeat, which is why that's not a fun subject for me. Cause I'm like, we still talking about a fight that ain't gonna happen. What's fun about that? Motherfuckers are sitting there trying to make excuses for Errol. Like, bro, I don't get paid to make excuses for Errol or Crawford. I I don't I don't care about a fight that ain't gonna happen. James Tony said, you don't get better in the gym, you get better in real fights. None of them PBC dudes fight enough to get better. Ain't that the truth? Is it just me or is El Rayo the real deal? I keep hearing about him, but I haven't seen him. I keep hearing about him. But Che, yo, that subject it's like it's not even like you get mad. It's more like, yo, why we talking about that bullshit? That shit ain't gonna happen. Now I'm gonna go to I'm gonna start it off with Jay. Jay, what you think about that shit?
Or with just the whole Spence Ugass pay per view situation. Or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, well, uh,
I mean, it's you know what it is?
I agree, but
Like
I agree. Like sorry,
it's
go
like
ahead.
everything. I'm gonna say, let me say, it's almost like we've said everything that we can say, because that's how I feel. Like I've said everything I could say. Like it's obvious to me this dude don't want that fight. Go ahead,
No,
Jay.
absolutely not. I mean, everything like just had to say, it's been said. We've let it be known on social media. Love your voice monologue, by the way. That should get award for Rant of the Year. There would be a candidate. No, but yeah, but yeah, just Spence doesn't want this fight. At this point, I don't expect it to happen at all. I mean, he doesn't want. I mean, like there's several scenarios that PBC could play Spence. Let's say he beats Ugas. Well, I mentioned on Twitter that he's probably going to vacate, go up to 154, and not unify with Bud, or they'll just pitch him in with Thurman after that. Or if he loses and Thurman wins his fight, they'll put him in with the winner of that. But it's a shame. I kind of feel for Bud because like he wants to unify so bad. And I strongly believe like somebody mentioned this on a past live that you did. I
Mm-hmm.
forget his name, but he was saying that like had the 147 belts been on Top Rank of Matchroom, oh Bud would have been undisputed by now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
Long time ago. Long
you
time
see,
ago.
you see that in the last I'm gonna say in the last 5 years, Top Rank has crowned two undisputed champions. PBC
Mm-hmm.
has crowned none.
Zero. They only had one fight. I mean, have they, as the Charlo
Well,
Castano fight the only
well,
undisputed fight
well,
they've had?
that's I'm gonna say yeah, that's the only fight they had that was legitimately for undisputed. But we see
Raw
how
for
it ended.
right? Yeah. No, there was no decisive burn. I hope they tie that shit up in February because if I feel that they will. I believe I favor Jamal in the rematch. I think he could Brian this time around.
All right,
But
let me go to
yeah, but
Let me go to Eson. Eson, just what are your thoughts on that shit?
I mean, it's not anything surprising. He's been lining up excuses and reasons not to fight Crawford for years now. It's just another. It's like a repeat. And like you said, this fight is not a bad fight. But I relate this to the Golovkin Murata fight. Like there are fights that are available in the division that there's a bigger demand for and that we've been asking for more than Triple G Murata. But nobody wants to keep the same energy for Spence. We've been asking for that fight longer than any of these Triple G fights at middleweight, longer than anything, the more longer than any fight I can recall for in a long time. It's been taking so long, and they were both available now. But they nope. He said he wants to do Ugass instead. Whatever. He's probably gonna lose to him or lose to one of these mandatories,
The
or
way I
just move or win and move up, like you said.
because the thing with Spence is like Spence's business and his bank account is so important to these people. But when we start talking about other people business, oh, that don't matter. For example, if you saying that it was more important for Spence to fight Mikey because Mikey brings in more money, then you shouldn't be bothering Golovkin. He make more money fighting Murata than Charlo. He make more money.
Exactly.
You
They
know what I
don't.
mean? Like you don't keep the same energy for nothing, bro.
It's a
For
bunch of
nothing.
hypocrisy. Everybody wants to. They want to put these stipulations on one guy, but when you apply it to somebody else, it's like, nah, he don't need to do that. Like, bro, why does Canelo need to fight everybody? But you ask Charlo to fight Andre, and you're gonna say, oh no, he don't need to. Fuck Andre, he pulled out. Okay, then why does Golovkin need to fight Charlo?
Same shit. Drew,
There's a bunch of examples you can use.
Drew, you know that we done. I feel like we've been here so many times talking about this shit. Is there anything you want to add to this tired ass conversation?
Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to add, Jules, other than this is like we finally turned the time dial. You know that sand, the clock that you turn the sand over in.
Yeah.
We finally turned that over, and this is the start of PBC going out of boxing.
I think so.
Because
I think
once
so.
Errol jumps to 54 and doesn't fight Bud, like I've been saying, there's no titles for them at 160. There's no titles for them at 168. What are they going to do? They're going to give us Spence versus Garcia at 154?
Yeah, because
Thurman versus Spence at 154?
if you think about 160, whatchamacallit is probably going to become the WBO champion, Yanni Beck, right? Right now, Murata has the WBA, Golovkin has the IBF. Depending on what happens, unified champion. But neither of those guys are PBC guys, and neither of those guys are likely to end up on PBC. Like Murata, not Murata on PBC, really?
And Julius, you have to remember too.
And like I said, they're all going to have to cross the street to get a belt at 160.
Basically, and we know they're not going to do that. Go ahead, Eson.
Oh no, I was gonna say like let's say if Boo Boo stays at 160, and Munguia gets his title shot for the WBC, whether Charlo moves up, vacates or whatever. If he most likely would vacate, he's not gonna fight Munguia. If he goes to 168, Munguia gets the WBC, and let's say
Yep.
Boo Boo does stay at 160. You know, if Triple G gets past that Murata fight, he's fighting Munguia over Boo Boo. So again, all the belts are on the zone at 160. So Charlo moving up, he's gonna have to fight somebody. And guess what? That would be hilarious if he has to fight Boo Boo.
The wild shit to me is that they got this special set of rules for Spence that don't apply to nobody else, even people that sell more than Spence. Canelo sell more than Spence, right? Now, peep game. Crawford sold more pay-per-views than Charlo, but he don't deserve a Spence fight. All right, then why does Charlo deserve a Canelo fight? He sold less pay-per-views than Crawford, and Canelo's a bigger draw than Errol. Y'all saying that he got to fight Charlo? Why? If Errol ain't got to fight Crawford because he don't deserve it, then Charlo don't deserve it. It's that
There's a bigger
simple.
gap. There's a bigger gap in popularity and name notoriety between those. That's why. Like
I mean,
You
how was
got you,
Charlo even a talking point? He doesn't even fight in the super middleweight division anyway.
motherfuckers, motherfuckers bring him up. That's how he's a talking point.
literally,
I don't know why. I mean, like, what is so impressive about it? He hasn't impressed me in a while, if I'm being honest. I
And
his
mean,
then you
jab.
I
and
don't.
Like I
let,
said, Spence and Charlo, they've regressed.
Yes,
let's
yeah.
also let's take this conversation in a different direction because we know that a lot of Errol fans who mic is fucked up. We know a lot of Errol fans is on some real pájaro shit. I'm not gonna say it outright because then I can't make no money. But a lot of them dudes is pájaro, like that. Esos tipos son maricones. So forget them.
Oh,
The
maricón.
media itself has its role to play. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna do that. But I'll say that I see certain members of the media celebrating this week shit, and y'all motherfuckers is the reason that boxing is fucked up in America. Y'all sycophants, y'all motherfucking spin doctors for hire. It's
I
y'all because y'all should be outraged when
Right.
when Bernard Hopkins was fighting a mandatory, right? Larry Merchant was still giving him shit. He was still giving him shit. He was fighting his IBF mandatory, but Larry was still in his face asking hard questions. Y'all see this man Swerve Crawford for 4 years. Y'all don't want to say nothing. Y'all want to celebrate. Get the
Can you
pom-poms
imagine?
out.
Can you imagine Errol Spence telling Larry Merchant, "Now I want to go round my chickens and my horses and fuck my
Did
cows"?
you? Yo, the
And
shit
you
is,
notice
Larry
where the
Merchant would
media is
get on his
from. Like I
ass.
had
of course.
what's his name got in my DMs after I was talking that shit about Spence. What's the punch that dude, Dan Canobio?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, Dan,
He
it's not a
blocked me.
pay-per-view fight. And you know it's not a pay-per-view fight. We're not dissing the fight, we're dissing it as pay-per-view. I notice it's a lot of that East Coast media that takes up for PBC because they do most of the shows
Yo, I
in
was
the
gonna
East
say
Coast.
shit. That's true.
So let's talk about it.
A lot of
And
the media.
Like Jules said, we're at least 2 years away from this shit finally getting flushed out, and then PBC dudes got nowhere to go.
Really?
It's still gonna look a little ugly next year, and it's not gonna start to play out to where boxing is a little better till 2023.
They don't have a second wave. Top Rank already has this. Well, not even second wave, their millionth wave or the next wave, for lack of a better word. They have the next wave of fighters already out of the Olympics. What does PBC have? I like Chris Colbert and Stephen Fulton, but you're not going to tell me those two guys can carry the brand. What else you got besides them?
Like you said, they don't have no Big Baby Anderson. They don't have no Keyshawn Davis. They don't have Xander Zayas. They don't have none of these cats that's like, what's up? This is what we here. You can't run from us. Xander Zayas is going to be a problem at 54 and 60.
Matchroom, they don't got to put it all on one guy. Like, I love how people make everything about Anthony Joshua. And I'm like, you don't see that they're global? Don't you see that? They just did a show in Uzbekistan. Before that, they did a show in Italy and Spain, all these different, you don't see that shit? And I'm like, they think it's all on Joshua. And I'm like, yo, y'all motherfuckers too dumb for me to
Yo.
talk
Too dumb.
boxing.
People don't understand.
And
money.
I know
People don't make money.
I know you peeped what Eddie Hearn said was dissing everybody subtly, Jules, when he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, we did 44 shows this year. We taking over global boxing, and we gonna do 50 shows next year.
And you got
That's not a company dependent on one fighter at all.
Let me read the
Yep.
super chat. Luis Puente says, imagine a Tim Zoo smacking Spence at 154. Yeah, if Spence will find his fucking balls to fight him.
Yeah.
where
Can
is
I? Oh, go ahead. Read the super chat.
Mr. Julio says Joey Spencer. Yeah, like word, right? He gonna carry the flag. Joey Spencer.
So can
I
I
bet he
can I
can't
have the
fight.
soapbox, please?
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, man. The word of the day is confirmation, right? We got confirmation that Gilberto Mendoza like to sleep with Al Heyman. We got confirmation that Spence is um, sees that Crawford is still a bigger risk than Ugas. That's why he wants to go to 3 belts with him instead of with Crawford. And this is confirmation that, to me, for the longest time, Spence wants more money than Bud because Al Heyman cannot pay him what Bob is paying Bud.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is this. Yeah, this. You hear a lot of shit talk from between fans, but yeah, Spence fans are celebrating this. They're saying, yeah, we want. They're gaslighting you like they always do. Like, yeah, we're getting fucking unification. What's the problem? Hey, he's gonna fight Bud eventually. But see, they don't tell you what reading between the line is, right? But like Spence wants more money than Crawford for obvious reasons, like I just stated. So of course you're gonna get the guy that is in your side of the street that has a belt, so that if and when right that they do get to the negotiating table, you have 3 belts instead of one. That's why I felt that Crawford should have pressured Gilberto Mendoza and say like, "Yo, I want Ugas." So that we don't have this fucking bullshit ass fucking purse split demands that's coming from fucking Errol Spence and his man down syndrome fans. Okay?
Also, the other thing about it, to your point, that Errol wants so much money. You can A-side Ugas. He's a fucking nobody. He's got a belt, but be real. Be real.
Yeah.
How
Be
much was
like
he paid for the Pacquiao fight?
And
Anybody
then
know?
and
I
then
don't
you
even
got
know,
you got
but
like you said,
It's,
yeah.
it's back to what the brother just said. Like Bud is getting paid more than Errol. Errol's getting that PBC stock.
and most people don't listen. Most people don't know that man was going out there getting 4 and 5 for Khan, for Brooke, for Mean Machine, for Jose. He's getting 4 and 5 up front without pay-per-view. Whereas you guys, they gotta put y'all on pay-per-view to pay y'all that. Because if we look at what's reported to the commission, okay, if we look at that, your guarantee is 2. Your guarantee was 2. And Sean's guarantee was 2. And this never gets said. If you went 50-50 with Sean, or you got 2 and he got 2, why you can't fight Bud again? You got 2. Look it up. Don't believe me. Don't let me do all the legwork for you. Don't let me do all the talking. Look it up. Errol got 2. Sean got 2.
I gotta say this real quick. Ever
Mhm.
since Bud went with Kinahan, his paper went up. So Jules, ever since you went with Kinahan, your paper went up. How, Jules? You ain't got to answer that.
I'm saying, why not? Why do we gotta respect Errol Spence's business moves, but we supposed to disrespect Canelo's business moves when he's bigger, better business than Errol? Why we gotta respect Errol's business moves, but we don't have to respect Golovkin's business moves when those are bigger, better business moves? They are. If we going address the talking points that are often brought up, keeping it real, I would rather see Golovkin versus Andre than Golovkin versus Murata. Golovkin versus Murata will be a fun fight, don't get me wrong, but I understand it. Bruh, I make exponentially more money fighting him, and I'm 30-something years old. I'm 40, basically. I'm 40.
And I'm
So
still getting a belt too.
and I'm still getting a belt. Now, if it's okay for Errol to swerve Crawford to make a few dollars on the safe side, why are you so mad at Golovkin? He doing what
Yo,
Errol
Julius.
doing. Hold on, he doing what Errol doing, but for more money. That's the difference. Golovkin is doing the same shit that Errol's doing, but for more money. So if money is if the amount of money that the fighter makes is okay for you to give him a pass, then y'all should have been gave Golovkin a pass because he getting money. 14 mil for Steve Rose, 14 mil for Sergey. I know Charlo ain't get that.
He's about to get like
And we know,
30,
and we
40
know,
from
and we know,
Murata.
like Jules says, we know what it is. It's xenophobic tribalism.
Yeah.
That God forbid a foreigner is playing the game better or got better people behind him, better gangsters, better mobsters, leveraging better deals.
Because that's what it is. Now let
They
me give you.
jealous. They jealous of that shit. Like their American street cred should justify them being
Well,
better
look,
at this.
listen. Because you know what this shit is. I don't really like broaching this subject, but I feel that I have to. Cause it's like, yo, look, man, motherfuckers think it's wild shit going on in America. You have no idea what's happening out there, dog. In the world, you have no idea. You think you got it bad because you live in a poor neighborhood in the city of New York, or in Indiana, one of these states. Yo, you have no idea how bad it could get. Honest, look at what happened in Puerto Rico, B. They murked the shit out of them dudes, B. Rah! Made sure they was dead, like you dead,
Bro, it
bro.
was just your average day in Ireland. That was gonna have a weigh and then shots rang out from a fucking machine gun.
I don't like I don't and I don't like to get like because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like the Joe Budden of the shit that I'm like, yo, listen, man, like you don't know what the fuck is going on. But and I don't want to shit on all the young guys, but I'm like, yo, dog, like the shit y'all talking about ain't nothing, man. Y'all don't even shoot the kill. Y'all don't shoot the kill. Y'all don't. Y'all just shoot. You're not even really looking where you're shooting at. Now, them motherfuckers in Puerto Rico, they made sure these
It's crazy,
motherfuckers is
Jules.
dead.
It's not in just boxing. It's in every American sport. Like y'all remember? Did y'all see when Nikola Jokic fired back at that Markieff Morris brother?
Nah, I didn't see
And then
that.
they asked him why he did
Yeah,
that.
I
He's like,
saw it.
man, he's like, American players think we soft. I'm like, bro, they drop bombs where I'm from. I'm not gonna let no man check me. And he's Chechen Russian, or he's an Eastern Bloc boy.
I think he's Serbian. I think whatever.
Sorry, he's
From
Serbian. There you go.
Yeah, one of those Slavic countries.
I feel like as a country and as a people, well, I'm not even gonna put myself in that shit because I'm from the other generation. I'm gonna say this generation.
No, you're an alien.
I'm an alien, matter of fact. I ain't even with none of this bullshit. But I feel like the consensus, there's no pride. There's no pride and there's no sense of self. Motherfuckers are selling they soul every day for a little bit of clout. Now I'm gonna go to Ronnie. Ronnie ain't get the chance to talk. Ronnie, talk about the Spence shit.
Hey, Slim, you already know, man. What I've been saying from the gate. Earl had zero intentions on fighting Bud. PBC had zero intention on letting that Omaha killer come over there and disrupt a whole business plan.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. Why would they let Bud come over there and then fuck up everything they built?
Exactly.
It was never in the cards. They were getting all those belts just so they can lowball Bud out the game. That's all it was. We're going to get all these belts, give you a lowball offer, then run it, because whether you like it or not, PBC do run a narrative at 147. It is what it is going to be. They run a narrative. And at the end of the day, if they sit here and tell everybody, Earl doing the heavy lifting at 147 and this, that, and the third, because they can run a narrative. But is that true? Nah, hell no, it ain't true. Because I'm going to tell you right now that Jose Benavidez, since everybody was talking about one-legged Jose Benavidez, I'm going to tell you right now, let Earl fight Jose Benavidez at 154 and see what happens.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna say this, right? To me, I look at Errol and I see two fights. I don't want to be dramatic, I don't want to be drastic, but I'm like, yo, do I really see this dude really fighting for the next 2 years? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
No.
I don't. That all it take is the wrong hit on that eye, and it's over, bro. It's fucking over.
It was just that guy,
like
right?
I said, I ain't want to touch because we was talking about the pay-per-view, but everybody know I'm flying out. I don't give a fuck where that fight at. I'm flying out because I need to see some things. And I'm still about unifications matter, but at the end of the day, Slim, like nobody asked for this fight. Nobody asked for this shit.
I was gonna say, Julius.
I'm gonna go see that viral video of Ellie Sadback of that confrontation they had, in that Maurice Hooker fight, right? Afterwards, right? And I'm gonna look for comments that say, yo, I can't wait to see Errol Spence versus your Dennis Ugass.
Yo, listen, I need y'all to get your crystal balls out. Let's say Ugass upset the apple cart. What happens now? I'll start with Ronnie.
It's the same thing. It doesn't matter who wins. Man, at this point, it doesn't even matter. The game is we're not fighting. We're not fighting Bud. We're not thinking about undisputed unless two things happen. And whether people want to believe it or not, unless a Hispanic get that belt, because Al love to make those Hispanic versus black fights. He love that shit. So if Virgil Ortiz get that belt, you might get it. Let Josh get it. Never gonna happen. Bud and Josh, absolutely not. They're not making that fight.
There's not one PBC fighter that fought a legit Mexican.
No, to be honest,
I can't say that about Leo Santa Cruz, Leo, because he's been the most disappointing Mexican champion in ages.
Oh, we don't claim him, bro. We don't claim him.
Okay.
He don't got that buzz in LA like they think he do.
Yeah.
Just
like Danny Garcia doesn't have that buzz in the Northeast.
Like I told Jules, PBC's MO is slap a Mexican on a card and they're gonna buy it. And it's clearly
exactly.
Not
the case. That shit is ridiculous.
Listen, they're gonna feed Leo. They're gonna feed Leo to Chris Colbert. He gonna do this one fight to defend this belt at 126. In the mean between time, Mick Conlon and Lee Wood, they gonna fight for the Reggie, and then the winner of that fight. Watch when they order the winner of that fight to fight Leo. Leo gonna move up after Chris Colbert beat Roger Gutierrez for the WBA at 130. It's like it's too obvious what they doing. You see what I mean? Could you imagine Leo going to the zone? No. Could you imagine Leo going to Top Rank? No. So that takes care of both outcomes. If Mick Conlon wins or if Lee Wood wins, regardless of the outcome, will Leo cross the street for the fight? No. Will they send those fighters to the PBC? No. Or I should say, will the PBC pay those fighters properly? Because at its base, that's the problem. They don't want to pay nobody. Devin Haney don't make peanuts. Why you think Leonard over there saying, yo, Devin Haney make good money, but we not going to give it. I know you're not going to give him that. You can't treat him like he fucking Isaac Cruz. I can't
like
make him bank.
Like I said, the sand clock's running out because all the hitters are with Top Rank or the zone. You look at who's at 130, 135. No one's fucking with Shakur. None of these motherfuckers is fucking with Keyshawn right now.
Slim.
None
They got that shit. Them motherfucker Top Rank got that shit. Nothing but young sharks and lions in that motherfucker.
Nothing.
Like it's just nothing
like
they
these
can do.
motherfuckers.
Spartans,
PBC
bro.
ain't got nowhere to go. They're not gonna get no belts.
And it's looking like PBC got 1 year in the game, and then they closing up shop. They don't have no youngins. Nope. They were supposed to start pushing from what I understood. They were supposed to start pushing Lubin and Chris Colbert in 2020, and what hit was COVID. That's what fucked them up because they were going to start pushing Lubin and Chris, my man Chris, hard in 2020, and that shit fucked them up.
Listen, I'm gonna say this.
Fucked them up.
I'm gonna say this. It's probably 3 fighters in the whole PBC roster that I would really like to see get away from them people. Stephen Fulton. Because hey, he fights.
Yeah,
we already know. Everybody love Fulton because Fulton
gotta go. I fuck with cool boy Steph, man.
All right, Stephen Fulton.
Everybody love Fulton.
David Morrell, and motherfucking Chris Colbert, and that's it. The rest of them motherfuckers could rot. The rest of them, they could all fucking rot. Kovnowski, motherfucking everybody except them 3. The rest of them motherfuckers could rap because they got potential, them 3, and it's still early for them.
Okay, the rest of them are rap except for Omar Figueroa's
all
sister.
that shit, though, Jules, panel, is they're gonna put those dudes in fights that's not gonna get them better. So when Fulton and Colbert step up against Keyshawn or Shakur, they gonna get fucking washed.
Well, that's a little stretch. Fulton at 122. But the whole thing is we need to see if Fulton get that MJ fight. I want to see if they really push for that shit.
They already made Daniel Roman made Daniel Roman his mandatory. It's not gonna happen, bro.
But from my, because they be going, I be communicating with jokers on Twitter. I mean, Steph, one of them, he was adamant that he was going to go after that MJ. But I know they made Daniel Roman, which and Daniel Roman. I don't know if you was on the joint with Daniel Roman, manager was going back and forth with me because he was supposed to fight Aleem, and they said they didn't have the money for it. And so that's how it ended up with him and Rome, and that's what we ended up with Roman and Fulton. And Roman, I mean, my man too. He a little old now, so I think Fulton will clean him up. But like I said, I think Fulton can fight 3 times next year, and I need him to fight MJ. That's what I want.
But all right, then, if he gonna fight, let's hypothesize. You talking about Stephen Fulton fighting 3 times in a year of 2022? It ain't gonna be on Fox.
I don't know how they go. Well, we know that if he fight MJ, they're not gonna have no money for that. But Fulton, I think, have enough. I think Fulton it will be the one that can be like, look, Slim, I need to go get that bread. Y'all gotta let me go because I don't think PBC is going to be in the game for another year. So they might start releasing motherfuckers and be like, yeah, go and get that money. You see what they doing? They losing all the purse bids except for Chris Colbert and Gutierrez. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Everybody else lost. Look at they threw a Hail Mary with Marcus Brown. I was like, they didn't set Marcus Brown up to win that fight. They only set him up to throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah, because the way they looked at it is, look, why are we gonna pay this money to get this fight? We do the fight. Artur is still going to win the fight, and then he's going to go back to Top Rank after that. We can't rob him because he's going to knock Marcus out. So you know what, Marcus? Go get them belts if you could get them, but we not paying for that shit. We
It's
not
just
gonna pay
bait.
for that.
They're
But
not sending
remember,
out their best.
And the funny
but
thing is,
remember,
though, like
Jules.
Ron said, go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
Yeah, but remember, Jules, what we said? Marcus Brown should have fought for them belts 2 years ago,
Yes, he should have.
right? And
Yes, he should have.
even if he lost, he could be having a rematch now. And
This
technically, he probably would have been better and had a better chance of winning in a rematch. But they sat there and tried to run them motherfucking 3 motherfuckers to fight for a Reggie belt. I was like,
listen,
y'all sitting here
listen.
and convinced that man to fight for a
Marcus
Reggie
had
when he could have
two.
had Gusev and he could have had
They did the same thing to Marcus
yeah,
that they did to Peter Quillen. Peter Quillen had the
exactly.
full
Yes.
WBO. They told him to
Exactly.
vacate that WBO so you could fight for this Reggie. With Marcus, he had 2 title shots.
He had
the
3 pretty much.
He could have fought for the WBA or I
Yep.
think it was the WBC. He didn't pick neither of
WBC
them.
was guaranteed, and he was second in the WBO.
And he didn't pick neither of them.
He didn't pick none of them
And
because he turned down the final
Like,
title
y'all set
eliminated
these
in the
guys to
WBO.
fail. You setting
man,
them up to
and
fail.
and the
Wow.
funny thing is, y'all, when PBC closed up shop and released them, Al still got that 360 deal on these fools.
Yeah,
He's gonna let go.
exactly. That's what
Oh.
people don't know.
That's
Exactly.
what's. Oh, you could go sign with a promoter, but
Yeah.
fuck you, pay me.
Exactly. Al got the mutual funds on lock.
And you know
I'll
what's
make it
crazy?
short.
You know what's crazy?
You signed
Ron
to that
Jules?
investment company.
And you know what's crazy, Ron Jules? That money that they get, I know those deals because I know those shitty record contracts. Al has I forget what that clause is called, where he could like
Disparagement
look,
clause.
yes,
Oh.
where he could like look, we should do it. We're gonna do this with this lump sum. I'm gonna pay you this, and we're gonna reinvest this money.
Oh yeah. He have
So they're
access
not.
to all that.
It's crazy, yo.
Now,
That how
now,
fucked
now,
it
And
is.
y'all thought
now, separate
was hating and capping when I put the joints up where I said Al running through the motherfucking bank accounts of Floyd looking for that money.
no, wait a minute.
Remember I said
Wait a minute, Ron. Wait a minute. We agreed on that. I was like, yo,
I
dog,
know,
I think
but you
Floyd
know how
money all
people was
tied up with Al.
Exactly. I told Floyd to change his bank accounts. I said Al was coming.
Bro,
Better
I feel
change
like
his-
if you have to sign to them, you got to give them their routing number and their account number.
You do.
Now
That's
listen,
how
Oh, God.
now listen. When it
Al's
comes
got
to this
power of
fight,
attorney.
when it comes to this fight, right? And you don't got to make a prediction if you ain't got one. But what are you feeling right now about this fight?
I haven't even thought about it that much.
Me neither.
You,
I haven't really.
I made a bet with a dude on. I'm gonna make some bets. I think, and this is what I think, and I'm not a fan. I think Ugass is just an okay fighter. For some reason, everybody think he's good. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think Earl finally get a stoppage. I think he finally get a stoppage. I just think Ugass' style is all wrong. I mean, it's just he's tailor made for Earl to get. If Earl can't stop Ugass Slim, like I already know he ain't fighting Bud, but God damn, I don't even know if he can get past. I got
Ugass is a
Virgil.
big guy though.
Now hold
Honestly,
on.
honestly.
Now let me say this, right? This is how I feel about Ugass, and I'm with Ronnie on this. This is an okay fighter. That's it. This is
Okay.
hold on. This is Elvis Rodriguez on Top Rank with 3 more losses. That's what he is to me. Like you ain't it, bro. Stanionis was gonna beat you. That's how I felt. If that fight would have got made, I would have went with Stanionis. You don't beat Utaev.
Hey,
All right, now,
Jules, what did I
let me
tell?
ask y'all
Hold
this.
up, real quick. Hey, Jules, what did I tell Ugass? Stop crying because you don't want to fight that Lithuanian. He was crying all up and down Twitter. I don't want to fight this fight. I was like, why are you so scared of this Lithuanian?
Y'all, Ugass was making it
should have
seem
just
like
cut this sport because
Gilberto was Castro making him fight the fucking dude. But
can I just say this though?
let me ask y'all this:
about
is
that,
Ugass a better welterweight than Danny Garcia?
I could see. I'm gonna tell you what. No. I'm gonna be real with you. I could see Ugass outworking him. He throw more than
That's
Danny.
the thing. And if we go back
Yeah.
to Spence's fight with Danny, you see how bad his feet look, how slow he looks.
Yo,
Like,
Danny
he's-
is not no elite level fucking welterweight. Like
And
I've
like-
been
and
saying
Errol-
this for
and-
5
and what I'm
years.
saying-
Like
what I'm saying is
Just
Errol
okay. That's what I'm saying.
Errol couldn't pivot for fucking Danny Garcia.
what does that tell you? Listen,
Yeah.
I said, look, wait.
It goes
Now,
back
I'm
to
gonna
my
say
final
this.
point. My final point. Errol's decision making is slower as fuck now since the accident. He's gonna get outworked by Ugass. Watch.
Now, I've been
You
saying
know,
this
can
about
I?
Errol. I've been saying this about Errol since before the car accident.
Mhm.
Ain't no motherfucking reason that an orthodox fighter jab should be touching you that much. That tell me that you ain't got much of a jab and your feet ain't all that either, because your foot's supposed to be on the outside of his so that your jab could come over his, but his jab is touching you more than you touching him. That told me everything I needed to know about a Crawford fight. If Crawford come out southpaw, he's gonna put you out. He is gonna put you out.
Yeah, man. Let me just say this about the WBA that I forgot to mention, right? Did y'all really like? This is a rhetorical question, by the way. Do y'all really think that that fucking four-man tournament just to figure out who the real WBA champ is was legit? No.
No.
I mean, think about this, man. Like, yo, who the fuck is Jamal James anyway?
I don't.
I mean,
I
really?
never heard of him. I
Let me
never
let
heard
me
of him.
let me chime in on that 4-man tournament, right? Who's Stanionis with?
Paul
Pro
Bellum.
Bellum,
What's Pro Bellum really?
MTK Global.
There you go.
No,
They need
I mean,
champions. No, listen, they need champions, bro.
mhm.
They need champions. That's
Yeah,
what
they
they don't
do.
really. They got talent. Don't get me wrong. They got some fighters around the world and all of that.
Yeah.
But they don't really got a lot of champions.
I mean,
firmly
Stanionis, bro.
believe
I haven't seen him fight, but like something about him, like he seemed really content about taking that step aside money. I think
because
it's
it
some
was a
fuckboy.
yo dog.
It's some
What kind
fuckboy
of
shit in
money?
2021.
Listen, what kind of
but
money you think that dude been making? They probably gave that man 500,000. Like, yo, please go away,
Bro,
bro.
that's what I've been saying. That fucking step aside money is marginally better than any person he's ever gotten, bro.
and
But
not only that, not only does a step aside money, now it's not just a step aside money, he's also guaranteed a title shot. That's how you know Earl have zero intentions on going for undisputed in the next
mm-hmm,
2 years.
The
mm-hmm.
WBA is helping him get 3 belts and just kick the can down the road to get away
Yep,
from
that's
Bud.
exactly the plan.
Like that, the WBA knows that Errol's good for maybe 250. He's good for 250,000 pay-per-views, and I'm being generous because I honestly don't know what this Ugass fight is gonna do. You're not going to like. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this, Ron. Realistically, where do you put
Mhm.
the number for this fight?
About 200 and in between 200 and 250. So ballpark like the same. Like I think the hyper Earl coming back. Ugas got the little cute, it's gonna do it not more than 250, but
Because
not more than 250.
Because you know what? Look, with the Danny Garcia pay per view, I honestly believed, and you could go back to the videos that I did at the time. I thought that shit was going to do at least 4, like, or at least 350. Because I'm like, yo, this is Errol's first fight since the car accident. Them UFC pay per views is moving, so I mean, people spending money on pay per views. It ain't like they're not buying pay per views. I'm thinking, okay, this will do maybe Mikey Garcia numbers because this is Errol's big comeback fight. This shit did 250, well, 250 or 225, something like that. And then I look at this and I'm like, yo, who the fuck is a fan of Yordenis Ugas? Who's really selling this fight? Ugas has fans that buy pay-per-views. Nah. The only people that are going to buy this are people that want to see Errol. Now, how many of them are there? I don't
Not a
know.
You
lot.
know, typically
He just
the
like
symptom of fighting a Cuban fighter is a low purse and low pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like. I mean, to that level, could I ask this question? Like, what's the common denominator of Ugas versus Spence and Spence versus Garcia?
The common denominator?
Yeah, like what do both fights have in common?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Nobody asked for them.
Yeah, I mean nobody like I said, man, like,
Pretty much.
but I
Oh,
think
That
but
Nobody
that
asked for
four-man
don't be
Spence
tournament was
on
a
that.
smoke
surprised
I'm saying
screen.
like that's why the Spence versus Garcia fight didn't sell. That's why
on
this
the
fight's
low,
not going to sell either.
but they gonna need Bud. They gonna clout chase Bud name to sell his pay-per-view.
Oh,
Believe that
Jesus.
shit.
Yeah, I
They
know.
gonna build.
But apparently,
They're gonna clout chase the shit out of Bud name and try to act as if Bud next after this fight. So that's gonna gen up about another 50,000 pay-per-views. I'm
after
telling
they
you.
But you know what
so after
the
they have
logical
fucking
fallacy.
lobbied and cried and whined about, oh, Spence needs to, Ugas needs to fight Spence. They finally got it. They're gonna clout chase Bud all of a sudden. Wow, B.
That's what I was about to say. That like y'all spent
They're gonna clout chase
and
his name.
now I'm gonna say this. They ruined and I'm not happy about it either. But I feel like they ruined what Bud could have been because most people forget that Bud was buzzing when he moved up. When he fought Horn,
Yeah.
that shit did good numbers. When he fought Jose
Yeah.
Benavidez, that shit did good numbers. It's everything
And
after that it started nosediving, and it's because he
and
wasn't getting the fights. So now, hold on.
Mhm.
Now you done fucked up his buzz and his momentum, but you gonna clout chase him. Here's the problem: he has no momentum. So go ahead and clout chase him. That ain't gonna make your fight bigger. Motherfuckers don't believe you. Nobody believes you gonna fight
no,
Crawford.
But
I'm
here's the
Nobody
telling
thing,
you,
believe
though.
that shit.
What
they
what
go.
they're do
You know the masses. I mean, we don't believe this shit, but they gonna try it. I'm telling you, you gonna be hearing that shit when they start seeing the projections. They gonna start seeing motherfuckers on Twitter like they already saying it. He's like, look, man, we gonna have to use Bud name, Slim. The act as if Earl gonna fight Bud after this. We gonna have to use his name because nobody's buying it. Ain't nobody's buying this shit.
And
That's
Ron,
Bud,
how do you
bullshit,
see?
bro.
Bud
They're
How do
not
you?
gonna
Hey,
fight
retired,
him.
bro.
Ron, how do you
Yo,
see
I'm
what's up?
150?
retired.
How do you see 154 playing out when Jermell moves and can't get a belt at 160?
When how I see 154 playing out.
Yeah, like okay,
I think
Jermell moves to 160. He can't get a
yeah,
belt, right?
right.
So
I'm
what
gonna say,
happens at
I,
let me say this. Let me say this
mm,
before y'all get into
that
that. Let me say this, right?
I don't think he. Oh yeah, go ahead. We'll touch on that.
Andre Ward retired. Andre Ward retired, a 2 division champion at 32 years old, having never been undisputed, right? If I'm Bud, I retire, bro. What I'm gonna keep doing this shit for? What is my problem is I don't
Yeah,
care about Errol's career, right? I like watching Bud fight. Now
yeah.
I can't
Mhm.
watch,
For me, both.
I can't watch Bud fight. They won't fight him. So I'm like, well, what the fuck he gonna do? Josh Taylor, all right. And if he fight Josh Taylor and beat Josh Taylor, then what? Then
But
what?
do you see what? But do you see what is going on, though? They're basically trying to systematically, right, discredit his resume.
Yeah.
This is how they compromise your pound for pound ranking, and this is how they compromise your future payout. This is
Yeah,
what they're doing. It's
having
a
Errol,
And
sabotage.
we
having
had to put
Errol.
pressure on PBC just to put Bud on a motherfucking face on the PBC shows.
They
We
wouldn't
Yeah,
put
did
him.
that shit.
They wouldn't put him
We
in none
had
of
to
their
put pressure on
graphics.
them.
it
Yeah,
was
they
a
wasn't
media
even doing that
blackout,
shit.
dog.
Oh
And
yeah,
the funny thing is, Al
Al
Bernstein and
Bernstein.
Espinosa crying that the other networks didn't fucking mention them. When the
Now,
motherfucking ESPN had Casemiro and Donaire live on the fucking show between
Right.
fights promoting they shit. Fuck out of here.
now this is what
Espinosa
I'm gonna
crying
say.
about Rocky Four. Come
When
on,
you
man.
have when the media, I'm gonna say not us, but when the media puts Errol on a pound for pound list, right? When they put Javante Davis on a pound for pound list, you lessen and you hurt other fighters doing that need to be there because they need that exposure for what they doing in their divisions, and you not giving them that limelight. You giving it to this cat, and this cat like your dog. How could Errol be pound for pound having fought once in the last 2 years?
It's
Once.
impossible. None of it makes sense. Slim.
Yeah,
Like
who's
this
Tank Davis beat that makes him pound for pound?
bro, like none of it makes sense, Slim.
Yeah,
You gotta understand. Earl wins didn't even age well. Like none of them
Yeah,
aged well.
none
Not
of them.
one single one of them aged
Ricky
well.
Burns went on to be a champion again. That's all I'll say.
Oh yeah, and if you
Exactly.
tell them,
Ray
I used to
Beltran
tell
too.
people, I was like a Ricky Burns to be in the hall. Like everybody was so excited about him beating Brooke coming off of a fucking eye injury, which that's cool. But I was like, Ricky Burns is light years ahead of some Kell Brook. He would be in the Hall of Fame off the rip before some
Listen,
goddamn Kell Brook. Who is Ricky Burns? Oh nigga, I can't deal with you.
talk about it because Ricky Burns became a WBO. Wait, what belt did he
Exactly.
have? He
Yeah,
became a champion.
champion.
Ray Beltran won the WBO at lightweight after
Yep.
Bud beat him. Motherfucking,
Yep.
it's bad. I'm gonna tell you how bad it is. When
Ricky
Zerto
Burns
Ramirez,
had belts in what, four divisions, right?
he's a multi-weight champion. Brooke is
Yeah,
not.
I think it's four. Exactly. But
Now
these are the
listen,
things you tell people. They don't understand that. They don't know that. They don't know nothing about no Ricky Burns. And
this
Bud
is
went to the
how bad the
UK
shit
to
is.
kill it. Huh?
This how bad the shit is. Zerto Ramirez's win over Maxime Vlasov aged better than fucking Spence's win over Mikey Garcia. Vlasov out here making motherfuckers look bad. Mikey out here losing to Sandor Martin. It's wild out here.
Exactly. And that's my point. Like, none of them age back, but none of them age good. And then we want to talk about, well, who but you ask Brooke and ask Porter, who better, Earl or Bud? What did they say? Oh, Bud, hands down. He hit harder. He's just better.
Cal said that Earl hit harder, but I'm like,
Who said that?
Cal in the interview, but I'm like, it don't seem like it because when y'all fought,
No. He said Bud hit harder.
nah, he said I saw conflicting interviews probably because I saw one when he said Spence hit me harder. Spence hit me harder.
Nah, he said Bud.
Got the mean Cal Brooks.
Nah, I don't remember that. He said
You
Bud.
think so?
He hit me harder.
By the way, Jules,
You know, the
also,
correct
Jules
answer
also,
should have been
Spence, you
Gennady
so much
Golovkin.
harder.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Super chat.
I tried to
let
hit
me
him
read
with
the
a
super
chocolate
chat.
brownie.
I gotta read the chocolate brownie. Argued with a Tank fanboy who told me that Tank is better than he knew he pound for pound, and that Santa Cruz, I can't.
Must have been
I
choke
can't,
mate.
bro. I
Must have been
can't.
choke
Like,
mate.
you
Choke mate
wildin'.
boxing.
And
I mean, this
he's
is Jules. You remember Victor
Ronnie, you
Postal?
still haunting you, bro? Choke mate.
When Crawford took Victor Postal, when he
What's
beat
that?
Victor Postal, later on he gave Jose Ramirez all he could handle, which I think
listen.
he might have edged that fight.
Listen, Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez look bad against Victor Postal.
Exactly. Boy,
Yep.
they was about to rob the shit out of Victor Postal in that Josh fight. My God, you see them scorecards before he got stopped?
Postal over
Anybody got a
see the
problem
rabbit?
with
Did you see the
anybody got a
rabbit
problem
punches?
with Virgil's next fight? To stay busy.
I gotta look up
Yeah.
McKenna, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I
McKinson.
was gonna wait.
Michael
let me,
ain't nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me do this because I'm gonna keep it. I like Virgil. I think he's great.
I
I'ma
got
real.
Virgil ranked number 2 in the
Correct.
WFM.
But I got to say this. I've been seeing a lot of his fans talking about Bud this and Bud that. Cut the fucking shit. Cut it out. Stop. Because I like Virgil. I don't want to turn. I don't want it to become a thing. But
I already had to start it.
Stop.
I already had to start it. People are already saying it. I'm like, bro, he is a counter. He's a counter puncher's dream. Bud would back up and counter.
I'm not going to do that because we not there to where we need to edge the fight. It's
Exactly.
people trying to say that Bud is bro, you fighting McKenna. I'm not knocking it. I don't mind the fight, honest to God. But this is for those people that I be seeing their comments under my why Bud don't fight Virgil? Because Virgil don't want to fight Bud. That's the truth.
He had 2 opportunities.
Virgil's manager said he's not gonna fight him yet.
Yep, and he had 2 opportunities.
And Virgil got a new trainer, right? So they're gonna milk that new trainer for
Eddie
maybe
Reynoso.
2 fights. What do you think, Jules? Ron, he's gonna get like 2 fights in with Eddie before they get that title.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's how they roll. That's how Eddie roll. He's not gonna throw him out there like that.
I don't see Virgil.
There's also this.
Hold on.
There's no mention. All right.
I don't see Virgil fighting Bud ever. If I had to guess what Virgil going to do,
I think they'll fight.
I don't think they're going to fight. I think he's going to go the WBC route. That's what I think.
Oh, well, I thought he was going to go the WBC route, but if he doesn't fight David, how can he go the WBC route?
Because Mauricio Sullivan
does David want to fight?
Yeah.
Does David want to fight?
Yeah, from my understanding, they want to fight.
Bullshit.
So
hold on, Ron.
Yeah, go
Who
ahead.
Who they calling out? It ain't motherfucking Virgil. It's Conor motherfucking Ben. They moving backwards, bro. Yeah. They moving backwards.
But now what I'm saying is, if the WBC order Virgil to fight David and Virgil back out of it, that boosts up David, and Virgil can't go. He's a step behind in the WBC. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna say this, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this. I looked at their ranks earlier today. They got Virgil at number 1 and David at number 2. The way I see it, they didn't order the fight at the convention. Matter of fact, they did order the fight.
They did order the fight, and Virgil went on Twitter, said he's not fighting David. And that's why you see him. That's why you see him in the WBO right now.
Virgil is not interested in that fight.
Yeah, he's not interested in fighting.
He's saving himself for that Spence. He's setting himself for that Spence man though, or the winner of that fight.
Oh
So that's why
wow.
he's not going to that's why I say he's not going to
But
WBC.
that
Well, he
could
can.
that could all
That's still
change.
wait. That still make my point. Then, if your man is not ready for David Evanesian, how is he ready for Crawford?
I mean,
And
he's
and
Don't
not, but he's
and
just
and
not going to
They're
WBC, bro.
and well, that could change knowing that
they're
Virgil's now
pushing
with
for Crawford
Reynoso and
though.
Canelo. The WBC might still, okay, Virgil, when you're ready for it, we'll give it to
Nah,
you
they can't.
because you know, hey, he's
Eson.
Rasa,
Eson.
Ron, he's
They ain't
Rasa, Ron.
motherfucking pushing for no motherfucking Crawford with no David
Well,
McKenna,
then,
Michael
and then,
McKenna.
and then,
Hey,
Stop
like
it.
I
if that's
said,
the
like
case,
Jules said,
if
he's
that's the case,
Mexican,
then
so he
White
got a
got a
pass.
then Dillian White got a serious case, and he need to open up his case back up because that's exactly what that's the problem right then and there.
Fury already
Mhm.
ready to vacate.
You're
Yo,
right.
I wasn't even going to talk about that shit because I already did like a segment that I'm gonna upload tomorrow. But keeping it real, bro, like I want to like Fury, bro. Like I want to like him, but like yo, you a
Yo, me
fraud,
too. He
man.
just
Like you
That
a
can't.
Joker
fucking
vacating,
fraud.
Clem. I told y'all he about to
Yo,
Yeah.
Bob.
vacate that.
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on,
I've
hold
been
on,
said
don't
that.
hold
he
on.
don't fight
Yo,
enough for me to like
Because
him.
listen,
Bob,
why we gotta go through this every time, Dillian? This is why I like Dillian White because he like yo, say what you will. Oh, he flawed. Oh, he got knocked out. When it's time to fight, people don't want to. Wilder didn't want to. Fury don't want to. Explain why, bro. Make it make sense. You're not gonna tell me that fight don't do numbers in the UK. It do numbers in the UK, but for some reason, oh, you about to vacate. Nah, we gonna defend the Ring magazine. So you really gonna
Right.
give this man your belt? You really gonna give this
Wow.
man your belt?
Yeah.
he said
And I
we're gonna just
said
do.
that.
He said we're just gonna
How
defend the
much y'all
ring
think
and the
it is? He
lineal.
don't want to. They don't want it to go to purse bid because he's the
Well,
Mando.
no, I agree with you. No, all right, let's be business savvy. This is what it is, and Drew is right. If Dillian White hardlines him, he hardballs him. Like I'm not going to take nothing y'all giving me because I'm waiting for the deadline, and I'm waiting for the deadline because I'm waiting for Eddie. Right? That's really what they trying to avoid. If we gonna be real, like if I had to, I got 3 reasons why he might not want to why he might want to vacate, and that's the top reason.
Yep.
Dillian don't have to take nothing that Top Rank offers him. He don't have to take nothing that Queensbury offers him. He can wait for the deadline, and then Eddie will come in, put a bid in for the fight. Fight goes to the zone, and they
He's
don't
Well,
already
want
the
to
doing
pay.
it.
problem now,
He's
though, but
already
hold up,
doing
the
it
real
though.
quick, but it's a problem. They haven't figured out. Everybody trying to figure out what is the WBC going to do as the purse split. That's what they're waiting on. You can't start a negotiation unless the WBC decide where they're going to start the split at. So nobody's saying anything. You see what I'm saying? Because it
But
can be
don't they have a
64.
designated split? Don't they have a designated
No,
split like
because
65,
it
30?
35.
changes. It changes based on the fighter's earning potential. Dillian White gets paid a lot of money. So what
That's
Eddie
true.
is saying is you can't sit. That's why everybody didn't
80-20,
understand how
yes.
Shakur got so much money and this, that's it, and how Porter and Bud went to 60-40 because it's based on look how what this fighter done, how his marquee value. So then they got to come up with what the WBC say. This is the starting point of this is y'all split. Now let's go to nego. But WBC haven't said that yet.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've been saying that fucking fight is not gonna happen for
Oh,
one
I know
reason
it's
or
not
another.
happening.
It's not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
happen. So then what it's gonna become about is okay. It's either they gonna elevate White to champion, or they'll order White versus Wilder because Wilder's #1 right now. He's #1 contender in the
He gonna beat the
WBC.
shit out of
Hey,
Wilder.
hey, that
And this
Wilder,
is
Wilder not
Slim,
gonna fight
Slim,
him,
that
bro.
fight, Wilder won't happen
Exactly.
because Eddie's gonna win that purse bid, baby.
They're just
and
gonna
this the
Wilder not
kicker
elevate
gonna.
though.
White, and then
This
we're
is the
gonna get
reason
Usyk
why.
versus White for undisputed.
This is why
Wilder not gonna
Bob and
fight
them.
him.
This is why Bob and them was screaming 80-20 because they know
Oh.
if they get that 80-20, that fight ain't happening. You know what I mean? So that's why they banking on it for it to be an 80-20 split.
All right, we got like
What's
20
up?
people on the chat. Everybody say what up.
Yo,
What's
yo,
up?
we got
What
the
up?
yo,
What
we
up?
got some
Yo,
Jules.
What up,
yo.
We got
Mark?
the all stars in here, Jules. We got
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
toe tagging and body bagging, coach.
It's like 1,000
Eyes
people in
down.
here. I got. I'm
Slim,
gonna
I ain't
start.
even see this. I ain't even see the screen.
Look, let me start. Let me start with the coach. Coach got the Ugass versus Spence situation. I know you got a lot of thoughts on this situation. Clue us in. What are your thoughts right now?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. this is a good fight for Spence to see where his eye is at. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jules. I'm not really high on Ugass. I never have been. So, I don't know, maybe Spence pulls it out in a 12-round decision. If it's close, Ugass is not going to get the decision. You already know that. Errol Spence is like the top guy in the PBC. So it is what it is. We know the politics of that. I don't know. Maybe Ugass can turn around and stop him or beat him. I don't know. I don't see that happening if it's close.
That's
but
kind
it's a
of what I want to
possibility.
ask you. That's kind of what I want to ask you. You think about the nature of the injury. He has a detached retina, same as Abner Mares, except when Abner had the injury, he never came back. Do you feel that do you feel that people are glossing over that maybe that's a bigger issue than people realize? They're like, yo, if Ugass targets that eye, he can end this man's career.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I think people looking at Ugass as he's a soft touch. Possibility he could be, but it depends on how hungry he is. If he targets that eye and we don't know how Spence is going to respond. He hurt his eye in sparring. So in the real fight, live fire, Ugass, he's a Cuban fighter, probably a really good counterpuncher. It's a strong possibility, man. That's why I kind of want to just see how he responds. So what if Ugass throw a monkey wrench in the plan and beat him?
Hey,
You know what I mean?
What are the chances Spence even makes it through the training camp, gets his eye hurt again, or what if he doesn't even spar to prepare for this fight just to get the payday?
All right, now
there's a lot of iffy shit around that eye injury.
Let me go to Sawab.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Sawab, you hear the Spence Ugass shit? What is your take on that fight? And what do you feel that this is a potential banana skin?
Yo, what's up? First of all, what are you saying, everyone? So basically, I just finished watching the Spider-Man movie. It's all right. It's not all that. Coming back to
Don't
it, so
spoil it.
basically, no spoilers, no spoilers. All right, I won't ruin it for everyone. So basically, I think Errol Spence is finished, and he will get KO'd. Maybe in the 9th and 10th round. I got you guys is nothing special, but Spence is finished.
Wow.
Spence is finished.
I'm glad I let y'all on the panel. It just got spicy. It just got
Finito, brother.
All right, now I'm gonna go to Mark. Mark, you see the Spence versus Ugass situation, the detached retina, the amount of time off. Do you like his chances in this fight?
I do. I think he's gonna win. Because I think he's gonna drop Spence. I don't think he'll stop him. I think he's gonna drop him. I think he's actually a better boxer than Spence.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he's a lot better.
Bro, let the brother speak. Let him speak his opinion. Go on, bro.
Okay.
I think he's a much better boxer than Spence. I think something that people keep forgetting, they talk about Ugass down at 140. At welterweight, he's been near flawless.
That's true.
And most people thought he beat Porter better than Spence did.
That's true. Controlled him better, I think, because he gave Ugass a lot more respect than he gave Spence.
Yeah,
should have knocked him down too. Knockdown.
I notice whenever Ugass actually lands flush on people, they don't want to exchange with him. I think he's got that Lara effect, where he hits harder than you think.
That Cuban right hand was sneaky.
I don't see guys wanting to sneak into exchanges with that Phil. And Spence likes to get into exchanges. What one fight in over 2 years now?
So
let me champ the shit because I want to go around the panel with this. The man has fought once in the last 2 years. Ugass, however, has fought in the last 12 months. Errol's coming off an injury. I mean, are we looking at an upset?
Yeah.
No, I think Ugass should be the favorite. That's not an upset. Let's be real. Ugass should be the favorite. That man's had one fight in the last 2.5 years, had a car crash, a torn retina, and he's probably been like up to 200 pounds.
Exactly. If we're going based on the facts, Ugass is the better fundamental boxer. Motherfucking Errol Spence's feet couldn't keep up and pivot with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia that was fucking the same bar for bar with a washed up Eric Morales. Errol Spence hasn't gotten better. He had that hype from that 6 million views from the Olympics, and he ain't done shit.
Let's talk hunger. Who's hungrier, Errol Spence or Yordenis Ugass?
Ugass.
Ugass.
Ugass. I just
Hands
don't
down.
I
want to
would
see
have
that
to say
paragraph on
Ugass.
Twitter if Ugass get robbed, though. You know, he got the paragraphs in
That
the drafts
motherfucker
waiting.
motherfucker's gonna write
If
an
that happens, man,
encyclopedia.
he better thank Gilberto Mendoza, Al Heyman, and Amanda Stanionis for this opportunity to get fucking 3 belts.
No, I'm
You
gonna go
know,
back around.
Nah, bro, he was just calling
Let me-
Gilberto fucking Castro for not letting him fight Errol.
Now,
No, I'm
let
talking,
Yeah, that
about, I'm
was
talking
funny
about
as fuck.
Spence. Because
me
you
go
know
back
they're going to
around.
pull
Let me go
strings for
back around.
Spence.
Hold on. We got to ask the same questions that we asked earlier to the new panelists. Okay, gonna start with the coach. If Ugas wins this fight, what happens to Spence?
Spence.
I think it's a rematch. I think that if Ugas win this fight, I know it sounds crazy. I think they're gonna have a rematch. I mean, they won't have any choice. They got to try to save face somehow. It's gonna have to be a rematch, Jules. I really think it's gonna be a rematch clause if he loses. I really believe
Can
that.
I say? Can I go next?
All right. Go ahead.
He's
Sawal.
he's gonna binge drink again, and he's gonna have another car crash, and hopefully he'll survive again, and he's done forever.
Shit.
Damn.
Motherfucker said that while he driving though. Heartless. You killed people.
That's it, bro.
You killed people. I
Big
know you did.
fish, big
You
fish
killed-
out here.
You killed people. I get it. I see you, Sawal.
Nah,
Mark,
hey,
he
Bruce.
loses.
All right, go on.
Mark, he loses that fight. What happens next?
He probably goes binge drinking, and I meet him at the same bar based off of my winnings that I make off of Ugass.
Don't sit in the Ferrari with him, yeah. Don't sit in the Ferrari with him.
Oh shit! All right, there's a fight. I want to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna start at the top. You got Daniel Jacobs, John Ryder. I'm gonna start with Eson. Does Daniel Jacobs win this fight?
Damn, you started with me. I was like, I haven't even thought about this shit.
Put you on the
I think he'll
spot,
win
dog.
it.
Put you on the spot.
Nah, you are.
You think he'll win it?
I'm gonna go with. Yeah, because he's back with Andre 1. I feel like he's had like time to like get himself in order and shit. And I think, and it's at 168 too. And I think he'll come back and win it. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. But I mean, it's boxing. Anything can happen. I haven't thought about it too much, so I don't have like really
No,
idea.
Wait a
hold
minute,
on,
this is at 175.
No, this at
No, it's at
168.
168.
168.
That's
Was it?
exactly why.
168. Yeah, my bad.
All right, and let me go to Virtuoso. You got Daniel Jacobs. You got John Ryder. Who's winning this fight?
I got the Brown Bombers. I gotta go with Daniel Jacobs, TKO. I
All right.
mean, if he's hungry, because I don't want to see that same shit he did with Gabe Rosado. Like he really got to take this shit seriously. But I do see him as a marginally better fighter than John Ryder. No disrespect to John Ryder. I think he's a good puncher, but like, nah, I got to go with Daniel Jacobs.
All right, I'm gonna go to Jay. Jay, got Daniel Jacobs. You got John Ryder at 168. What happens in this fight?
Yeah, based on what Danny did last time against Rosado, he didn't look good. But he's back with Andre, as everybody pointed out. So I got him winning. He should win this fight, but he can't overlook John though, because John could be a potential spoiler. So, but I got John winning. I got John winning. No, sorry, I got Danny winning. My bad. Yeah.
You got John winning. That's on record. He got John winning.
No,
I'm at
Danny. I'm at Danny.
Whoa.
Let me
I got
go to
tongue twisted there. I got Danny.
Let me go to Drew. Drew, John Ryder, Daniel Jacobs, 168. What happens in this fight?
John Ryder's gonna beat him. I saw everything I need to see from Daniel Jacobs, what he has left in the tank versus Gabe Rosado. It's nice that he got back with his trainer. Maybe he paid him some extra money for stiffing him for the Canelo fight and when he fired him. But Daniel Jacobs ain't hungry no more.
That's what I say. It all depends on his hunger.
All right, let's go to Ron. Ron, Daniel Jacobs, John Ryder, 168. What happens in this fight?
Well, I'm gonna talk that money shit. I'm betting a draw because once again, my man said it, man. Jacob's just not hungry. He don't have enough dog. John Ryder is a fucking dog for real. So I think he can pull off a draw, and that's where I'm putting my money at, on the draw.
All right, I'm gonna go to Mark. Mark, Daniel Jacobs, John Ryder, 168. What happens in this fight?
Where's the fight taking place?
That's a good question. That is a good. Oh, it's in the UK. It's in the UK.
It's in the UK. Yeah.
John Ryder. John Ryder on points.
That's that's what. Listen, I don't want to. I'm not a Monday morning quarterback, but since the fight was announced, that's what my bubble guts have been telling me. Go with John. Go with the albino gorilla, because that's his nickname. In
I
case
always
y'all don't
bet on
know,
the
Oh shit, I
underdog.
didn't even think about that. It is taking place in the UK. I forgot about
it's
that.
in
My
the
thing
U.
is, my thing is, I think I just go with who looks more washed than the other, because John hasn't looked great since the Callum Smith fight either.
Wait,
Let's not
wait,
pretend he
wait,
has.
Mark, don't bullshit. He looked all right in Bulgaria. He looked all right.
Yeah, but when he fought Mike Guy, he didn't.
That
When he
was
was against,
after. That was after the Mike Guy fight.
okay, that was against a dude who was ranked 1,200 places below Mike Guy, though.
Okay, and Daniel looked like Kaka against fucking Gabe, and he hasn't fought in how long?
Gabe is ranked above John Ryder.
That's fucking shit. I still got John. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
I got a draw.
Y'all want to laugh at something? They just released the box office of the Donaire fight. Them motherfuckers gave out 1,600 comps and only sold 800 tickets.
Oh, I saw the sheet.
Oh,
Wait. I saw the sheet. They comped 2,000,
Yeah, it says they comped
Nonito
about
really
almost
needs
close to
that Inoue
2,000
rematch.
tickets.
and they
And
only
it's a head.
sold like
that's the
800.
Gaballo. That's the
They
Gaballo
sold
fight.
828 tickets, yo. That's how I know they comp 10 to 15% of the tank tickets.
Let's go, Sawab, John Ryder, Daniel Jacobs, 168 UK. What happens in this fight?
I gotta go for the Brit. John Ryder is gonna beat him, but not by much. I think he's gonna go to decision, and he will win it.
All right, we're gonna
Maybe
go to the
split decision.
coach. The coach, John Ryder, Daniel Jacobs, 168 UK. What happens in this fight? Your
You're on
mic
mute,
is off.
brother.
Hold on.
Sorry about
Your
that.
mic. All right.
Sorry about that. Daniel Jacobs has one more bullet left in that rusty ass 38. I'm gonna ride with Daniel Jacobs for the upset in the UK. I'm gonna give him a shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got Daniel Jacobs, man, by unanimous decision.
Now,
Surely Jacobs will be the favorite. Surely Jacobs will be the bookie's favorite. Surely.
Now I'll say this.
TKO.
If Daniel Jacobs wins this fight, what I envision is Callum Smith at light heavyweight, and Callum Smith knocks him out.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That's a good fight, though.
It's a good fight, but he knocks him out. Daniel's not hungry anymore. It's not about fighting no more to Daniel. He's just trying to get a couple more bags, and that's not the right frame of mind to be in with some of these guys. Callum, I seen what he did to Lennon Castillo. I never seen nobody do that to Lennon Castillo.
Just
Danny
around.
Jacobs,
Real quick,
Jacobs is straight to the point with it too. He tell you, I'm only here for the money. He tell you.
I saw a post
I ain't mad at him.
Yeah,
saw a
but
post-
god damn, he don't have the shit at all. He tell you off the break. Dang.
So hold on real quick. So I saw a post from Bad Boxing Takes on Twitter, right? You're basically showing another person basically bitching about Canelo, and somebody mentioned Callum Smith and Berturbiev in the same sentence in response to that dumbass comment.
I saw that shit.
What do
I
you
was on
think
that
about
thread.
that fight? What do you think about that fight?
Wait. Look. I'm gonna be real with you, because and I don't want to sound like a hater, right? Or like I'm living in the past. You can get to Artur, but you got to take chances. You can get to him. Callum got to him. He just didn't finish the job. If he land on, and I'm telling you, not that they're gonna fight, but it's just something to think about. You think that Artur would have took that shot that Lennon took?
But then you can say, then you can turn around and say, could Callum Smith take the shots
with
Archer
Bivol,
that John
wait a
Ryder
minute,
did?
wait a goddamn minute. With Bivol, I know he can take the shot because he took the shot from Joe. He took a big ass right hand from Joe, and he walked to his corner.
His eyes were closed and he wobbled, but then he just walked.
Now with
he absorbed that shit.
With Artur, Jeff Page dropped you. Callum Johnson dropped you. If Callum Smith hit you like that, I like Artur, but I see the flaws. I think if Canelo fight him and knock him out, call me crazy. If Canelo fight Artur, if Aiden counter, he'll knock Artur out. That's my prediction if they do fight. Because everybody acting like Canelo. Listen, everybody acting like Canelo is Marcus Brown. When Canelo on his boxing shit, You can't hit him. When he on his boxing shit, go back and watch the Jacobs fight. Getting under and around shit, countering shit. When he
That's
on
the
his
best
shit,
defense I've ever seen from him.
you can't hit him. You can't hit him. I think he'll knock Artur out. To me, and I want to go around the board with this. Toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez. Dimitri Bivol. Who's
I
the
agree.
toughest?
Yep.
Eson?
I disagree.
All right. Jay, who you think is the
Wait,
toughest fight for Canelo? All right. Go. All right, Eson, go ahead.
I'll be quick with it. I think I actually talked about this earlier. I think Bivol's a tougher style for sure. He just is. I've been saying it for a while. He does a lot of things that Canelo have trouble with, but I think Artur is the one that can get the more definitive win because he can fucking hurt him bad. But I think Bivol's a tougher style matchup.
All right, I'm gonna go to Virtuoso. What's the toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez out there?
I'll give you a hint. All right, you ready? Derek.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Usyk?
That's not gonna happen.
That's not realistic at all, bro.
Bro, if he wants it at fucking cruiserweight, bro. If he wants it.
Come on. Like, be real. What's the toughest? He's not even in the running, bro. Like, he's not even in the running. He's at heavyweight, bro.
He's opening his mouth about that. Another one who wants to be in a Canelo fucking lottery. Let's see what happens. But
bro, right.
if not him,
bro.
all right, I'll say this, Jules. If it's not him, I'll go with Beterbiev.
Okay.
Just because he hits hard.
Okay. Jay, toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez right now. Who is it?
Well, honestly, I think Beterbiev is, if I'm being honest. I mean, not Beterbiev. I mean, I think Bivol and Beterbiev. Bivol more so, and only Beterbiev because, like, Beterbiev presents that he's just dangerous up close. You know what I mean? He really is, and he can't and Canelo can't just get close and trade with him and just go toe to toe. So, like, if he could avoid that, then it's a winnable fight for Canelo against Beterbiev. But overall style wise, I think Bivol is here.
All right.
He's just on his technical shit all the way.
All right. I'm gonna go to Sancho. Sancho, toughest fight out there for Canelo Alvarez. What is it?
If I'm being abstract, it's the man in the mirror. It's in between his head.
Oh, cut the shit, dog. That's not what people want to hear.
I'm fucking with you. Nah, Beterbiev is more dangerous in terms of the physical damage that can happen to Canelo. Bivol will just be a boring, ugly fight where Bivol doesn't put punches together to engage, and Canelo's got to do all the work.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Bivol still has that amateur style, and it's not going to make for a compelling back and forth salvo.
But Bivol
no. When you come at Bivol, he exchanges. Don't get it twisted. When you come at Bivol, he exchanges.
When does Canelo come at fighters that are slick or that have boxing skill?
Bivol can stand there and trade if he needs to, but he likes to move and keep distance, but he'll trade. He will trade.
Hold on. Let me address something. Napoli, I'm gonna let you in a second, but I gotta let Lady Chan in a second, okay? Let me let Lady Chan in first, okay, bro?
Super chat.
All right, hold on. Let me let Lady Chan in. All right, Chan, hit the link. Let me read the super chat. Canelo's toughest fight is cracking 1 million pay-per-view numbers in this economy. But for real though, the hardest fight for Canelo is Callum Smith at 175. That's an odd choice. Ronnie was the toughest fight.
Man.
He beat him already.
Y'all already know.
Y'all wild.
That's certified.
Let me just say, Beterbiev, I don't think he has enough to beat Canelo. And I don't know now, I was just scrolling through some LDBC channels and they were on live. Let me see what they're saying. And they were saying that Beterbiev easily beats Canelo. Beterbiev is this, is that. But I don't think anyone can beat Canelo except Derek.
All right, hold on. Ronnie, who is Canelo Alvarez?
I'm going with Artur. I think Beterbiev is going to show more of a. I think he's going to surprise y'all, like he surprised Gusev, and show boxing skills, and then stop Cinnamon. I think he's going to. I say Cinnamon. I think Cinnamon gets stopped in 8, and he might be.
I agree.
I think Cinnamon gets stopped in 8. And this is where, and I think Artur outboxes Cinnamon and stop him.
Get the Ooh, I like tonight's show.
Julius, I actually
And
agree
when
with
does
you,
that
Julius.
fight? When does
I
that
don't know
fight
what this
happen, though,
brother is
Ron?
on, but I don't know what he's been drinking. So
Ron,
just
when does that
don't
fight
go
happen?
driving, yeah.
Don't skip the cue. It's Mark's turn. Mark, what's the hardest fight out there for Canelo Alvarez?
I'm gonna give you a hint. He's chilling in Dubai with a whole lot of Arabs.
Lawrence Okolie. Come on, y'all gotta stop. Stop with this shit.
No,
Stop.
no. You said Usyk don't count because he's campaigning at heavyweight. Canelo has said it. He's willing to go to cruiser.
Look, we
That
know.
dude,
we
no,
know-
that dude is linked to Eddie Hearn, right? So he's an Eddie Hearn fighter. That fight could be made.
I'm
The
just
reason, no,
he's not
the
in the
reason,
running.
yeah, and there's a reason for that because he's the toughest fight for him out of all of the possible opponents.
He's not possible, dog. We're talking
He is
B-Ball,
possible.
Better Beef. We're talking B-Ball, Better Beef, Benavidez, Charlo, and Makabu.
None of
That's
them
what we're
beats
talking
him.
about.
None of them have done enough for them to even show us a glitch or an inch of anything that they can beat Canelo. Prove me
So
wrong.
Mark's official answer is Lawrence Okolie. Is that your
Then if he
I'll
doesn't
say,
count, then it's probably Beterbiev because he's the only one of those guys who could hoard him.
Okay, Beterbiev. Okay. So Wab, toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez out there, what is it?
Derek, my brother Usyk. Only if they come down to
Not in the running. He's not
It is in the running.
The man
There's
hasn't
a
even fought at
possibility.
cruiserweight yet.
Canelo will do anything.
All right.
Let's
So
say he
that's your
gives up the
official
belt to
answer.
Joshua. Let's say, fuck it, I don't want it, man. Fuck it, I want to go back down for Canelo payday. Payday.
All right. Well, that's the official answer. Usyk, coach. Toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez out there. Who is it? Your mic is muted.
I have Beterbiev because I just think he's strong. He's gonna be there for Canelo to hit him, but I don't know if Canelo will be able to take many of his punches. Canelo is a very slick fighter. If he's on, if he boxes the way he did with the guy named Daniel Jacobs, it's gonna be very hard for Beterbiev to beat him. Canelo can counter him, but just for me, I'm gonna just say Beterbiev because of his power. I'm gonna say Beterbiev.
For me, I honestly believe it's Bivol because Bivol's the only one who's willing to fight a boring fight. With Better Beef, he's good in the pocket, don't get me wrong, but who is he good in the pocket with? Not guys like Canelo, who can slip and hook, evade and counter. I do not feel that Artur Better Beef would dominate the pocket against Canelo because Canelo is faster. Count has faster hands, faster movements. All that shit he did to Marcus Brown, all that shit he did to Vosdick, Canelo not going to be there for none of that shit. To me, the guy that can trouble Canelo's a mid-range to inside guy. He needs to get close to you. He still needs to get close to you. Who can keep him out? Dimitri Bivol. That doesn't mean Bivol wins, but I think Bivol has the more frustrating style than Artur. I think a lot of people forgot that Canelo Alvarez, he likes aggressive opponents because they give him the chance to counter. And I honestly think he can knock out Artur Better Beef. Call me crazy. I think he can knock him out.
I don't.
I think so.
Can I just chime in? So was
I
it
don't
who
think
can
he's gonna
beat
keep
Canelo
Artur
or
record,
who is
at
the
all.
toughest fight? That's the
Let
question
me-
I didn't get.
For the record, I
Beats
got.
or toughest fight.
I mean,
I
for the
think-
record, I got Better Beef and Bivol beating Cinnamon. I just think Better
Yeah,
Beef stops
me too.
Cinnamon, and Bivol win by decision. UD.
Y'all cats is wild. Y'all cats is wild.
You see, that's the
I
part
think-
for
I
me.
think-
That's the part for me where I lose track of Bivol because Bivol is not going to get a decision on points in America against Canelo. He could beat him 11-1. Mayweather did, and he got a draw on one of the scorecards. No, I'm not dealing with that shit. Let's call a spade a spade.
It's sad, but it's
Country,
true.
I'm trying to get Chan on here. I posted the link. Chan, click the link. Click the link.
I think Artur fuck around and make Canelo take a knee from a body shot.
Exactly.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
I don't think he's gonna get up from that shit.
This is no, listen, what you're talking is recency bias. We just saw Artur beat the shit out of somebody and we forgetting what Canelo could do. And I'm telling you, he's not gonna dominate the pocket with Canelo. He's too quick. That shit you hit Marcus with, you won't hit Canelo with that shit. And while you swinging and missing, you gassing. I'm telling you, he gets put out. with a punch he don't see.
I don't see it that way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got the super chat. Better Beef will look like the well, I don't know about the Kirkland fight, but it's boxing, so hey, you never motherfucking
I think
know.
if it's in a pocket fight, Artur's too strong for this dude to keep. He could literally grab him, push him back, and rough him up like he did to Vojdik for a while, and just hit his body when he can. Canelo's midsection is open because he likes a hard, high guard. You just can't reach for him.
You're assuming that Artur will be able to dominate the pocket, and I don't.
I mean, we're all
see
assuming.
that.
I mean,
You're right.
I think
right.
I think
You are right.
ought to work off his jab and show that he's a way better boxer than everybody's giving him credit for, and it's
His
going to
jab
be an
is a-
easy fight.
Do you see
It's going to be an easy fight for Artur. That's what I'm gonna stick with.
Artur jab is a short jab that he kind of just flicks it.
Wait,
or
are we even
steps
sure that
into it.
Canelo? Are we sure that Canelo can even keep Artur in the center of the ring?
Yes,
'Cause
I am.
I'm
I
not.
am.
Now let me ask y'all this.
I've seen him push way bigger guys
Artur
to
has
the
better
ring.
feet. Artur has better feet than Canelo. He pivots and shit like that.
Realistically, how soon does this fight happen though?
2 fights. I'd give it.
I can say that fight can happen at the end of the year, to be honest, before the end of the year is out, to be real.
Who is Canelo's next fight? That's a great fucking question.
Makabu, ain't it?
Makabu.
I'm not interested.
Well, we don't know
Even
because they
beyond
said the
Makabu,
whole
I'm not
Machunu shit is still happening.
Yeah.
So we still don't know. What if Machunu fucks around and now points Makabu?
That's a great
Look,
point.
Machunu's a good fucking boxer. Makabu is slowing down. And Machunu is improving. We seen him beat Lebedev. He beat the gold medalist, Tashenko. And
Don King is going to make sure that doesn't happen.
And according to these sources out here, they've been in contact with Top Rank, and Eddie Reynoso been talking. So, hey.
I mean, yeah. Like it
could be Joe fucking Smith, actually. It could be Joe Smith because they got rid of.
Smith got 2 fights. He ain't fighting. He ain't on that.
No, that Salamov mandatory is gone.
Not that, but he got Anthony
Not
Yard.
That.
Has Yard been ordered though? Has Yard been ordered?
Not yet.
Actually, they were just talking about that. They're saying that Anthony Yard gonna be fighting for that belt before the year's out.
Yeah, but I think Yard would be much more willing to do a step-aside deal to get a guaranteed shot at Canelo, wouldn't he?
Nah,
to stick around for a job.
I think it's sentiment and better be. That's what they talking about.
2 belts.
Right. Yeah.
Artur don't got nothing going on. What he got going on? Joe called his book. Now I feel like Joe DeGuardia and the people at Star, they'll nix all that shit because remember, it was supposed to be Salamov and Jacobs. They changed the plan. Now it's motherfucking Johnson and whatchamacallit. So they could change the plan, but Artur dance card is already free. He don't got nothing going on.
Right.
Neither does Bivol.
That's true.
Zerto hasn't been ordered as a mandatory next. Realistically, that fight can happen next. Actually,
Can
we talk about Zerto Ramirez? Because I didn't get the chance to talk about Zerto Ramirez.
Sure.
He hasn't been ordered as a mandatory, so realistically, they could do better Biev versus Bivol next. He hasn't been ordered as a mandatory.
They should do better Biev versus Bivol next.
Jules, you know
Bivol
what
was calling him out after his last fight, saying, "I want that fight next."
Come on, man. Let's talk about
it. I think they're gonna wait out for the sentiment sweepstakes. They 175 waiting out for the sentiment sweepstakes. They
I don't think so.
Let's talk some Zerto.
Yeah, they waiting out.
Let's talk some
super chat boogeyman.
Something to think about with Smith. He has the experience. He's not weight drained. He's got power at 175. He's got the height and reach advantage. What's more dangerous than a young repeat opponent? But that's assuming that he would fight him again, though. That's why
it's not just that, though. Like, yeah, the only difference is maybe he's gonna fight a little bit better at the weight. As far as the height and reach advantage go, Canelo knows Callum Smith's reach and range.
Yeah,
he knows it now. He knows it now. Who do you think is going to download the opponent better, Callum Smith or Canelo? I reckon Canelo.
Now hold on. Let me. I'm trying to keep the lines free for Lady Chan, gentlemen. Stop clicking the link. She can't get in because y'all keep clicking the link when she trying to click it. All right, I'll let y'all on a little later, but I'm trying to get Chan on.
I ain't about to jump off this bitch for anybody. I paid to get on here.
Now, can we talk some Zerto Ramirez? Yo, Yo, this dude,
He
B.
looked
He the
bad. Yes, he
boogeyman.
looked
Come on, Ring.
bad.
He the boogeyman.
He's
He
the
boogeyman.
boogeyman,
You know,
Jules,
yeah.
and we know you're trembling at this guy right now. We know you're scared.
because I
Better
never.
Biev would never fight Zerto.
You
Better
know,
Biev would never fight
hold
Zerto.
on. You know what gets me about the shit? What gets me about the all right, Lady Chen is here. What gets me about the Zerto situation is they wanted him to be a boogeyman so bad. Talking about B-Ball is ducking him. I'm like, when? Bro, they offered him that fight. Fuck is y'all talking about? All right, everybody say hi to Lady Chen. Lady Chen is in the building.
What
I got some.
How's it going, Chan?
Hi,
What else,
hello
Chan?
again, Chan.
Hello,
Hello.
Chan.
This is
I
where
got
everyone's hanging out. I just came off my live because it was going a bit
I got some.
hectic over there.
I got
Welcome
a
to the
series.
Cockfest.
I got a series of questions for you, Chan. We're
Bro.
gonna start it off.
Bro,
We're
keep
gonna-
it clean, bro. Stop. There's a lady here.
Series of questions, Chan. Okay, you see the
Yeah.
Ugass versus Spence situation. What do you make of that fight? And do you view Ugass as a potential banana skin for Errol?
Yeah, it just depends literally what Errol that we're going to get like coming off of this retina thing. Like what I'm doing is I'm going to give Errol a bit of faith. Am I mic'd up? Can you hear me on the mic?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
clear.
Okay, cool. My feelings on it is that I've seen some footage. Shouts out to Showbiz the Adult because he actually showed some footage of Errol Spence saying it wasn't recent, but he said his plan is always to fight like Bud Crawford last. So he said he would fight Ugass and then get that belt off of Ugass, and then fight Bud afterwards. So maybe just give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if he does it. To me, I still put him on my Doctorious list. He's Doctorious. But I don't know, potential banana skin Ugass. For me, it's not like either one couldn't win. But I don't think PBC is going to allow. Fuck it, no, it's not potential skin, banana skin. They would never allow. They're not going to allow Errol Spence to lose to Ugass. Unfortunately, even if he looks like he's winning, they'll rob him if that's the case because Errol Spence is more of a commodity for them, I think.
Does the eye? You don't think that the eye having the detached retina, the amount of time he spent away from the ring, these aren't red flags to you?
Major red flags. This is what I'm saying. But it doesn't mean that Ugass is not going to get robbed and to make the win.
Okay, I like that answer. You see what's going on with Canelo Alvarez. It's a million fucking names in the hat. But in your opinion, who is the most dangerous fight for Canelo out of the people that are in the running? Who's the most dangerous fight?
I would say in 75. I would say in 75, it's definitely got to be Artur Beterbiev. I know he's aging, and I feel like I heard that the Canelo camp is showing some interest in Beterbiev all of a sudden. What? Because they've seen some kind of chinks in his armor from the weekend gone. Listen, you can see whatever you want to see. Beterbiev will stop Canelo. This is where he would stop Canelo.
This is a good show tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
Good show tonight. Spicy ass answers out here, big.
Team Arthur.
Y'all got my man getting knocked out out here. You gonna get knocked out out here?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't trust nobody to take them shots. I don't trust nobody to take them punches.
It's 100% knockout ratio.
If I trust anybody to take those shots, I trust the Mexican to take those shots.
Yeah, but Canelo's chin's amazing, but he's not a superhero, guys. Come on.
That's what I'm saying.
When's the last time Canelo's got hit flush though?
He's been hit flush.
Only
Golovkin.
Everybody, give them the chance to debate. Drew and Lady Chen are debating. Don't talk over them. Let them debate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see if Canelo is thinking about doing anything great after what he's done. That's great. Don't get it twisted. What he's done is great. I would like to see him fight Beterbiev ASAP, like ASAP Rocky. But I don't want to see him try to do this, age him out even more, and then decide, oh, let's go and get Beterbiev now. Like how they kind of, got like a beat up from Anthony Yard Kovalev. Like, it's all strategic. It's all sometimes a bit too calculative. Canelo's got to make me believe back in his powers again because it's making me feel that He does good cherry picking, and so boxing is a business, and some of it
I don't.
is to do some cherry picking.
All
He
right,
makes
now,
the big-
Let me say this.
let me mediate. Let me
Okay.
mediate. All right, now you heard what Lady Chan said. What do you say to the strategy, the calculated cherry picks? Is that how you feel about that? And if not, why?
I don't think it's a cherry pick because anybody that's fighting as often as Canelo, you in the history of boxing, nobody fights killers back to back to back. So I'll give her the Obni Yildirim as a stay busy fight, mandatory. And I can't call champions cherries if you're trying to be undisputed. I can't call Denny.
I wasn't
I
saying
can't
his whole
call.
career's a cherry pick, by the way. I wasn't saying.
No, I'm just speaking.
I wasn't saying his undisputed run was. A
No,
cherry
I'm speaking
pick, by the way.
specifically the Canelo,
Mhm.
the last couple years where he finally once he got rid of Oscar, he changed his whole flow up. You see how he's more involved in picking the matches now, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Him going to fight, if he fights Makabu first, that lets me know he's trying to see if I could take Makabu's punches. I ain't worried about Archer.
All right, I want to go to Chan about this because I don't think I actually ever got her opinion on the Makabu fight. What's your take on that fight?
So many. I can't stick to one. I can only be honest. Sometimes it depends on the day that I wake up, how I feel. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, that's just whack. Who cares? Nobody wants to see that. And then I think on another day, that's great. You want to skip 2 weight classes, challenge yourself, pick the weakest champion in the division as usual. But but yeah, do it nonetheless. Cool. I can see it in those types of ways. And anybody wants to say, oh, there's Shan hating on Canelo. I don't hate on Canelo, actually.
Me and Chan going to end up arguing on this episode. It's going to be
rebut that, Jules.
Let me rebuttal. Okay, if we're going to talk about who the weakest champion at cruiserweight is, it's actually not Lunga Makabu. If he were after the weakest guy, it would have to be Arsene Goulamarian because he hasn't been a champion as long as Lunga. He's not. He hasn't been in with the same kind of fighters as Lunga, and this man hasn't fought since 2019. So if he really wanted to pick a guy that's there for the taking, I'd say it's Arsene more than it's Lunga.
What's his dimensions? How tall is he? What's he
not a big guy. Like, he's a stocky guy, but he's not a statuesque guy, not a tall guy, not a long guy. He's about 6'1", beefy guy, but not a very tall guy, not a very long guy. So I'll
have to see him. I'll have to look, Jules.
I got a question for you guys. Hey, let's say Canelo does stick around at cruiserweight. Do you think he fights Mary Breedis?
That's a crazy one. I think he should just go back. I think he should go to 75.
Can I say this? This is my.
You don't want British.
Right? No. Stop. Let's stop this. Let's everybody calm down. Let's stop this. See, this is why I think it's not fair, right? When we start mentioning Usyk and Breedis, I'm like, okay, yeah, those are great fighters, no doubt about it. But I don't see anybody doing that. So I will not require that of Canelo when no one else is doing it. I don't see nobody doing that. Charlo been at middleweight for 4 years. You can't get him to fight Demetrius Andrade.
But this is not about them, though. I'm just leaving it up to the imagination. Like, how great is he?
How far is he willing to reach?
Yeah.
Let me say this. Hold on. No, hold on. Let me talk, gentlemen. Let me talk. All right. Now, you saying that it's not about them, right? And that's cool. But what I see is, this kid is willing to fight a cruiserweight. Maybe it's not the best cruiserweight, but he's willing to fight a cruiserweight. How many of these other guys are willing to do that? It's just like when Roy.
Sorry, Jules.
All right, I'll let you go after me. It's just like when Roy fought John Ruiz. I knew then that John Ruiz was not the guy, but I also knew Roy started out as a middleweight, and he up here fighting heavyweights. You can't sneeze at that.
Can't sneeze at it. That's facts.
Not everyone has the physical dimensions to be able to go up. If you can, kudos to you. Try and achieve what you need to achieve, but you can't say that one fighter that's able to go up coming from 54, able to go up to fucking cruiser. Not everyone's got the physical dimension to do that. So it doesn't make him a greater fighter than someone that, say, is 2 times undisputed at lower weight cats because that's the cap that they can get. Maybe they started off at super feather and then they got to super light, you know, like that.
Lady, I agree,
Yeah.
but Roberto Duran didn't have the physical dimensions to go up to middleweight, and he still
He still
did
did
it.
it, but obviously he still had the physical dimensions to
No,
do
Yeah,
it.
he
but
had the
what's
skills
the
and the
one
heart.
common
Yeah,
denominator?
but meaning that he still could make that weight. He was still to make that weight.
What's the one commonality that they have
He
though?
still cut down. He still cut down to make that weight in the end. He had the physical dimensions because he probably outgrew. You know, he's outgrowing. Yeah, was he better at the lighter weights? Yes, but not everybody's still able to put on that mass amounts of weight or walk around at such a heavy weight, and then you're cutting that weight. We don't
But
know.
can we
You know?
can we say this, Chan? Can we say this? See, this is my thing, right? I look at the physical dimensions of Jermall Charlo, physical dimensions of David Benavidez. These guys got bigger frames than Canelo, because
Yo,
Canelo's
Jules.
not a. Hold on, dog. He's not a big guy. I've seen him standing next to the Charlo brothers. They made him look little. They made him look like a fucking welterweight. They're a lot taller than he is, right? So if I see this low ass man up here fighting these cruisers, and I see you, Kevin Garnett, lanky looking motherfuckers, ain't fighting shit, what I'm gonna say is, yo, him going up to cruiser is some shit, because these tall cats don't even want to do that. They don't even want to do that.
Yo,
Hey,
Jules.
Jules, can I say something on that?
Go ahead. Go ahead. First the coach, then New Country.
This is my entire argument. What you're saying, you're holding Canelo to a standard. I have no problem with anyone wanting to see Canelo fight Godzilla, King Kong, Goku, Piccolo, whoever. The only problem I have is you don't hold David Benavidez, Jamal Charlo to the same standards. Jamal Charlo has not fought one champion in the middleweight division, let alone move up to fight another guy, David Benavidez, that's on the same side of the street that he's on, right? And then David Benavidez, who the hell is he for? So my thing is, you're holding. So you say, well, this is Canelo. He's supposed to be the best, right? But Canelo is 5'8". David Benavidez is what, 6 feet tall. These guys are bigger than him, stronger than him. These are the guys allegedly Canelo has ducked. But these guys won't even fight each other.
Yeah, he's not.
They don't even want to fight. Listen, they don't even want to fight Jamal Charlo. He doesn't even want to fight the other champions in his weight class. Let alone move up to fight someone else. He does a lot of talking and capping, but he's been a middleweight. He has the belt since 2019. How many champions has he fought? 0. So that, I mean, damn, that's all I'm saying. I don't mean to go on my rant, but that's it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Country.
Now, the thing I want to bring up is this, though, and it's not for every fight, but the one commonality, like Canelo, Roy Jones, some of the fights that they took of heavier fighters, bigger weight fighters, they had some sort of perceived advantage in their mind or physically or both. And that's why they took those fights. Like Roy Jones went up and beat Ruiz. Okay, but he knew he was a lot faster. He knew he was gonna get Ruiz. He knew he was gonna beat him.
Now,
and
Dan,
Canelo took a lot of fights
Dan,
where
to that, hold on, Dan, to that, let me say this, right? Dan, to that, let me say this. Whether it's a fight at cruiserweight or it's a fight at light heavyweight or a fight at super middleweight, there's a perceived advantage. It doesn't matter who we're talking about, because that's fighting. If I'm faster than you, I'm faster than you. That's just fighting. That's just life in general. What we're asking for is comic books. If you take it to that realm where there are no advantages. No, there are always advantages. There are reach advantages, height advantages, speed advantages, weight advantages. That's every single boxing match. When Jaron Ennis fought Sergey Lipinets, he had an obvious height advantage, obvious reach advantage, obvious power advantage. He knows he rehydrates heavier than Sergey Lipinets. He knows he's a naturally bigger guy. So
it's a safer advantage than taking a little more of a challenge in those divisions, whichever division that the fighter is, planning to go up to or get in.
And to that, I'll say this. Okay, you don't view Lunga Makabu as the biggest challenge for Canelo at cruiserweight. I'm with you. I don't view that as the biggest challenge for him either. However, Canelo versus Makabu is more challenging than Charlo Montiel. It's more challenging than Benavidez versus Kyron Davis.
Right,
more
he's getting
challenging
his
than
feet
that.
wet
Well,
at this point.
to add to that, Canelo Makabu is a tougher fight than Canelo Charlo than Canelo Benavidez.
I think so.
And
I
let's
think
just
so.
keep it a buck. Canelo is the last of a dying breed. The man's got 60 fights. He's gonna who and it's coming up is gonna get close to having 60 fights. The man might
Nobody.
retire with 65, 70 wins. We're not gonna see that anymore in boxing from the Americans.
Right.
And
Well,
I think I
Not so
think we're
fast.
who's gonna have 60, 70 fights by the
Wait a
time
minute,
they're 30?
Ronnie been
Probably,
off.
probably, probably
Ronnie's
Boots. The way Boots
Ronnie's
is
been
going,
awful
I
quiet.
think Boots could do it.
Ronnie, I never got your thoughts on Lunga Makabu. So fill me in. Like, what do
Man,
you feel about that fight? What do you think about that fight?
I like the fight. I mean, pad your stats. I mean, shit. If it was so sweet, then why didn't what I tell David Benavidez? If y'all think it's so sweet, Chase send him in the 200 then and see what's up. I mean, what's the problem? Go get Saul's belt. Go do something. I mean, at the end of the day, man, let Cinnamon do what he do. But I think we asking a lot for Cinnamon to try to fight Breedis and Usyk. Come on, man. Like, come
That's
on. Like, it's just too much. At
that's
some point,
wild.
I don't mind him padding his stats. Get in where you fit in. Cool. Pad your stats. Do some legacy shit. But at the end of the day, then go back down and get them jokers that's waiting for the Cinnamon sweepstakes. Let them get their Cinnamon sweepstakes. You know,
Now
that's
let me
it.
say this. Let me say
Hey,
this. Let me
Coach.
hold on. Let me champ the shit, right? And David Benavidez, you got a guy right now that has no belt, right? No belt. You have nothing for Canelo. You're not a champion no more. Why don't you go up? You don't got to go to cruiser for me, bro. Go up to light heavyweight and fight Artur better beef. Nah, you won't do that, right? You won't fight
Huh.
B-Ball either, right? Nah, all right. You won't fight Joe neither, right? And I'm supposed to look at Canelo crazy because he fighting Lunga when we can't get David to go up one weight class to fight a Joe Smith, to fight a
Not
Artur
one.
better beef.
True.
Not
We
one.
can't
And
even
my
get
whole thing
we
is
can't even get
shouldn't
David to
should
go up to
hold on.
75 to fight
Listen
Zerto to
to
be the
this though.
Mexican to do it.
Shouldn't Charlo be fighting David Lemieux instead of some motherfucking Benavidez though?
And
Right.
when he knocks him out, like we all know,
It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
even make
pathetic. That's
sense.
Billy Joe Saunders' ex work, isn't
Man,
it?
listen, Jules, forget that. Can we get Charlo to fight another champion in the middleweight division?
that's what I
You know
want.
that ain't happening.
Bro, listen. Canelo, I think people are misunderstanding Canelo. Now, I'm not a Canelo fanboy by a long shot. But what this guy is doing is special. You guys said it on the panel. If it was so damn easy, Ron Boyfresh said it. If it was so damn easy, why Charlo not doing it? Why Benavidez not doing it? All of these guys criticizing Canelo. Oh, he's moving up the cruiserweight. He's fighting. He's cherry picking. He's fighting the easy fighter. And if that's how you feel, so be it. But you don't keep your fighters, Charlos, Benavidez. You don't hold them to that same standard. Canelo waited till Benavidez lost his belt. Canelo did not make Benavidez snort cocaine. Canelo did not make Benavidez get on the scale overweight. He did that on his own. It's not Canelo's fault that this guy lost his belt without losing in the ring. So he comes in the division. In 11 months, he becomes undisputed. Caleb Plant was there when he was a champion.
Yes,
Billy
he
Joe
was.
Saunders was a champion.
Yes, he
Calvin
was.
Smith was a champion. They
took 'em
made
all out.
no efforts to fight each other. So
me-
when
And
Canelo comes in, cleans out the division, now it's crazy. Oh, now he's moving up the heavy, moving up the
Let
welterweight.
me add to your
Tyson
point.
Fury. Go ahead.
Let me add to your point, Coach, because this kills me, right? Caleb Plant was supposed to be David Benavidez's super fight, and his own promoter told Barbershop Conversations, "We're gonna wait." At this time, Caleb Plant is calling him out on social media, saying, "Don't blame me because I want to fight and they don't." Samson Lukowicz speaks to Barbershop Conversations. It's on camera. You can look it up here on YouTube. He says, "No, we have to wait. You got to marinate that fight." So if David Benavidez did not get that fight, that's not on Canelo. You had your chance because Canelo hadn't even come down. He wasn't even there yet. He hadn't won a full title there yet. You had first dibs on Caleb Plant, and your promoter didn't want it. So when Canelo Alvarez goes in there and knocks out what would have been your big fish, I'm not going to criticize him. I'm going to criticize you because you could have did that. That could have been you.
Yeah. See, everything's about context. And then when you say stuff, that's why I like coming on panels, because when you say stuff like that and you put it like that, it makes me see it in a different angle. I'm like, yeah, that's facts. But speaking to Ronnie Shields, Mile might go up, you know. They're just waiting to see what the next, but because it's hard for him to be making 160 at the minute now.
Well,
and Jules
that's why he should be the one fighting David Lemieux.
I'll just say this: Jules explaining it is just Capricorn logic.
Yeah. Capricorn. You're really crazy.
Ain't that right, Coach?
Capricorn. My ex was a Capricorn. My ex was a Capricorn. The worst person in life.
Uh-oh. Goddamn minute. I don't know what he did. I'm not going to take the heat for that. All I'm going to say is this, right? I want the sport to be healthy. I want the sport to have what it needs, right? What the sport don't need is Benavidez versus Lemieux. We don't need to see that. That's not good for the sport because people not interested in that. Nope, everybody know what's going to happen. We need Charlo versus Benavidez. So I'm not going to put the onus on Canelo to fight 7 or 8 people that could be fighting each other because no matter who he picks, right? Let's say he picked Artur. Who on the panel going to be mad?
Nobody.
I'll be at that fight, not me.
Now, hold on. I'm not done. Now, while he's fighting Artur, what are Jamal and David doing? What y'all doing?
You can't be kicking back.
Sitting on their hands and ass. They just following marching orders. They gonna sit on their hands and ass.
Jules,
they dining and dashing on BLTs, Jules.
I got a super chat and I'm gonna pass it to you, Coach. In my honest opinion, David Benavidez would have been in better hands with Top Rank fight in the top light heavyweights if it wasn't for Samson Lukowicz. I 100% agree with you, Napoli, because I've been saying that. He should have.
And I spoke to David about that in Omaha.
All right, he should have crossed this. Look at what's going on with his career, Ron. Look at what's going on with it. He's in fucking limbo now.
I already know because he was supposed to meet up in New York about that shit.
Hey, listen, panel, Ron Boy Fresh, everybody, Lady Shan, Jules, I'm gonna let you know right now. Tell Canelo I got the IBF and the WBC. I want the smoke and put my titles up on the line. I beat up an Uber driver. Listen, I beat up an Uber driver to get this belt. I fight all the bums. And this here was an Amazon delivery prime worker. He delivered a package for Christmas. He got slick at the mouth. I caught him with a 2-piece, dropped him, and I got this belt. So let Canelo know I'm putting the titles up. Now I don't fight nothing but scrubs, you know, and I'm a notorious cherry picker, but don't worry about that. You know, I want the smoke. I'm putting the titles up. Let them know I said it. Let them know.
Coach, is that a 60-40?
Block Boy Promotions.
60-40 split, Coach?
Block Boys Promotions.
Coach, what's the split? 50-50?
Yeah, 60-40 my way.
I mean, listen. My main thing with Canelo is I treat Canelo the way I treated Floyd. You had anybody from Andre Ward to Bernard Hopkins. You had anybody from Andre Ward to Bernard Hopkins putting it out there that I can't make that weight, but I'll come down for Floyd. And that's what's going on here. We can't. I did not expect Floyd. I didn't expect Floyd to fight Paul Williams. I'm like, yo, dog, y'all asking for way too much, dog. This dude, do you see where this dude debuted at? You're asking for too much. And
I like how we're talking about Canelo's future opponents, and yet we bring it back to these idiots that they don't make the fights to build themselves up, but then every May or September they reach their hands out for Canelo payday.
Well, this is the other thing. They don't think that Jamal should build himself up or David should build himself up, but Terrence Crawford has to build himself up for a lesser draw than Canelo. Canelo draws more than Spence, right? And I said this earlier. Terrence Crawford generated more on pay-per-view than the Charlo brothers. A little more. It's nominal, by 35,000, right? So if Terrence Crawford, who generated more than the Charlo brothers, still has to earn a Spence fight, why don't Charlo have to earn a Canelo fight?
Right.
David never sold a pay-per-view in his whole goddamn life, but y'all think
but they can hide behind the little franchise shit, though. That's the whole thing. They hide behind the franchise.
The thing about it is Bud's fights get TV deals outside of America.
That's true.
No, but you can't sell the Charlo fights to anybody in the UK and anybody in fucking Uzbekistan.
Who want to watch that shit?
Nobody
want to
watch that shit.
Who want to watch Charlo versus Montiel in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan and Stanistan and all that? Nobody.
Not
All
many
the
people at all.
stands. Too
My
many
name is
stands.
Stan.
We got access to Showtime.
Whatever stand.
That shit
Okay, I gotta ask Lady Chan since she's on that side of the world. What's the word on Conor Ben? What do you guys expect from him out there?
Oh, we're rocking with Conor Ben. He's like one of the most improved fighters, I would say, that I've seen within the last couple of years for sure. Like the last 3 years, I'm rocking with him. People give him a lot of stick. I was one of them at first, not stick, but then when like I said, if it's about context, he hasn't had any very little amateur participation career, and he's learning yet again on the fly. This is what's happening a lot with a few of our fighters. The star ones seem to be learning on the fly. Have you noticed? Like, limited amateur experience, and then boom, they're stars. So I think Eddie Hearn and his team are matchmaking well because he hasn't had the, like I said, the amateur background. What is he, 20-0 now? So so really you've got to pace him just a little bit slower than someone that's got big amateur pedigree and, do you know what I mean, experience. So I want him to fight Broner. I thought he should have gone the David Avanesian route, for the European title.
I was just about to ask you about that. What do you make of that situation, and do you consider it a duck?
Well, the Team Avanesian actually reached out to Team Ben before anyway, and Ben turned it down twice. Ben wanted to do it, but Eddie Hearn, etc. Eddie Hearn explained that he just wasn't ready for that fight. He would fight anyone that we put in front of him, but that's why we've got matchmakers, because we've got to pace it correctly. But now I think he's ready to go for a David Avanesian and beat him, because although you don't have any amateur pedigree, David Avanesian has loads. So you could kind of take some stripes off of him. You've beat someone of that caliber in the European bracket. I know it doesn't seem to be that much in the US, I've noticed, because you guys have your intercontinental, we have our versions, do you not understand? But it's important, I think, someone that hasn't had that pedigree, go through David Avanesian. If not, cool, just skip to, then I thought, then go to Broner, and then Broner's kind of, where you can gauge, and then try for a world title.
I agree with you, Chan, because I feel like Conor still has to prove himself on that side of the pond. If you're gonna build a legacy, it doesn't have to require a name that had a prime, like Broner. You always have these great fighters, and when you look at the resume, you always find a few of those fighters that weren't famous, but you could say they were tough. And that's what I expect from Conor Ben.
Right.
I'll say this. Let me say this about Conor. If somebody wants to say that they ducked Avanesian, I'm not going to argue. But anecdotally, I honestly believe, and you could hold me to this, he'll knock David Avanesian out.
He would.
He'll knock him out.
That's why I want to see that fight. I see it as 50-50 to me.
Josh Kelly don't... Listen. Everybody high off of what he did to Josh Kelly. But the red flags was there when it came to Josh Kelly. And Josh Kelly's not the kind of fighter that liked to fight. Conor liked to fight. He liked to scrap. He liked the war. And I think, he'll knock David Avanesian. He has the power to do it. I honestly believe that.
Hey, Jules, a question. If not David or Adrian next, who could kind of fight?
Going for Mikey Garcia or Danny. Danny's going 54 though, but he's
still Mikey Garcia's spoken for. That's Tank Davis's next opponent.
I still say Custio Clayton. I mean, I don't understand.
I mean, let me say this. I just think Adrian Broner is a little bit too far.
I know what you're doing, Ron. You trying to set that boy. I know what you're doing, bro. I
Ron
know.
ain't slick.
Shut
Ron
up.
ain't slick.
I think Castillo Clayton. I
That's
mean,
slick, dog. Not Castillo ain't nothing to play with though. Like,
I know
nah.
that, but
Hey,
we gotta
put
test.
him
We
in with
gotta
Ray.
test these youngins.
They put him in with Ray Robinson. He's a spoiler.
No, Ray Robinson done. I mean, I
How
don't
about
even know
that?
what's
Not a
going on
bad
with.
choice.
Well, Ray Robinson is in a
Okay.
hiatus right now.
He
I
drew
can't
a Mean
find him.
Machine and Josh Kelly. So
Yeah, I know,
Right.
but he's in hiatus. I've been trying to figure out what's going on with Ray Robinson because I wanted, honestly, I wanted Bud to take a light touch with Ray Robinson a couple years ago. But apparently that man fell off the motherfucking planet.
Him
All right, y'all.
and the Axeman. Him and the Axeman. One
Yeah.
last one.
Oh well, we know what happened to
One
Axel.
question.
Go ahead.
What,
Go ahead.
what fights are y'all looking forward to in 22?
The one I was about to mention. I know this not your cup of tea, right? Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. I saw everything I needed to see on Saturday.
Mhm.
That is, I know what I need to know. You not what they say you are, Amanda.
Oh, she Puerto Rican. I already know that.
Oh,
Julius,
you ain't
I'm
had
ready to talk about this.
I didn't watch
She
your
gonna come
fight.
after
Julius,
you
you know
again,
I'm ready to
Jules.
talk about this,
She gonna come
bro.
after you
What
again.
was exposed? What did you see, Jay?
All right, before I pass it to Eson, what I'm going to say is I was waiting to see how do you fare at 135 against a target that can't move, because Katie Taylor can move, and if she can't move, she'll tie you up. She has survival instincts. We saw that in the Delphine Pursoon fight. So in Miriam Gutierrez, you got a flat-footed fighter. She ain't got legs. She ain't got power. She's there to be hit. And she landed it well on Miriam Gutierrez, but she couldn't put her away. Now, I evaluated Amanda's resume just one more time before I came to my conclusion that you never fought nobody that can move. You literally never fought anyone that could move. The hand speed, the movement, the angles, staying off the line, getting in and out. You never fought nobody like that. So here
Right.
you are at lightweight with a stationary target that's taking your best punches, and you couldn't knock her down. You couldn't knock her out. With Katie, what I see is a tight split decision win. Let's go to Eson. Eson, what do you think?
Shit, I got it the same way. I was looking at the fight and I'm like, she's hitting this girl and it's just not doing what it does at the lower weights apparently. And I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I mean, she has to face somebody that can really move like Katie Taylor. And quite frankly, I've seen Katie take some shots. And if you can't get this girl out of here, I'm not even sure if you can get Katie out of there if you do hit her. So I mean, you already know how I feel about it. I got Katie by decision, but I don't know if like the judge will be fair if it's like at MSG.
Well, we got a potential a suggestion, I should say. Conor Ben versus Rashidi Ellis. Who likes that fight?
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not
That's
bad.
really good. I like
That's
Rashidi.
not
I like
bad.
Rashidi. I like Rashidi.
I like
think the
He just needs to
Rashidi.
build himself up too. He's been collecting dust like Golden Boy.
What
Yeah.
I'm gonna say is it's not realistic because
I
it's
don't
not
think that's
realistic.
realistic. Yeah.
It's not realistic. I like the fight
Mm.
though. I ain't gonna lie. I file that
Yeah.
under Canelo Usyk. Like, yeah, it's good, but it ain't gonna happen.
No,
Like,
my fights in
Right.
Who is he with?
22.
You said he's with Golden Boy, yeah?
My
Mhm.
fights in 22 are the trilogy between Choco and Estrada and AJ Usyk too.
all right.
Yeah, there's a few.
I want to ask Chan this question.
Mhm.
Do you honestly believe that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. are ever gonna fight? What does your gut say?
Oh God. My gut says
No.
I don't get you. Because you know what? Because sometimes gut and logic are two different things. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a logical person, but my gut is saying no. But why would that fight not happen to see who could get all the straps and be undisputed at 47? Why wouldn't that be the goal? Like, what would be the point of Errol saying, fuck it, I'm going to 54? What are you going to achieve at 54? Like, every time you get like a couple of straps, you're like, yeah, I'm done. Like, what's the ultimate goal? So for me, it doesn't make logical sense for the fight not to happen, because that means that means Errol Spence doesn't want to achieve, or Bud Crawford is trying, but Errol Spence obviously doesn't want to achieve legacy. So my gut says, sorry for the long one, my gut says no, but my logic says, yeah, they are going to fight.
I'll
Yeah.
say
They got
this.
to.
My gut and my logic tells me Errol never wanted this fight. He never wanted it. All the signs are there that he never wanted it. I don't believe for a second it's going to happen. I haven't believed it was going to happen for about 3 or 4 years now, and here we are on year 4, and Spence is still fighting someone else. You know what I mean?
Jules,
I'm gonna say it like this.
Wait, what's that? Jules, can I get my answer right quick on what Spence does if he loses to Ugass?
Jay, give me your answer on what happens if Ugass upsets the apple cart for Errol Spence.
Oh, it's very simple. Errol retires and goes into male stripping. That's what he does. That's what happens.
I'm gonna say this. Now that you have a British person here, do you know how they have like a US and UK version of things? American Idol, Pop Idol, The Office UK, and Office US. What if I told you that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is a US version of Amir Khan versus Kell Brook?
You ain't saying
Yeah, of
shit.
course of that. We've been said that.
Yeah, I've been said that. That's what they are. That's what the fuck they are.
It's a remake. It's a US remake we're getting. Eventually they're gonna fight, but it's gonna be mad late.
That's why we're all frustrated right now, because that's what we could see that what it is. And we're trying to prevent that. Like, dude, please don't make it that. You guys, please just fucking fight.
Let me say
because it should have happened a long time ago.
Should have been happening.
Country, I'm going to tell you now, the fight fucking ain't what it was. It's not.
Well, after he flipped a Ferrari or whatever, forget it. It was done then.
That's what I mean. That I'm like, in 2017, if it were that Errol, I would honestly be excited about the fight. If it were the Errol that fought Brook. But this is Errol that flipped a Ferrari. This is Errol whose eye is hanging out of the socket. This is Errol that has fought once in the last 2 years. At this point, I'm just record keeping. I don't think they're going to fight. Do you think they're going to fight?
I agree with you 100%.
Even before the car wreck, he didn't want to fight.
Yeah,
this is Errol that can't put the bottle down.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I go, so does anybody on the panel at all, anybody's gut, do you feel they will fight? Anybody?
He'll fight Yellow Beezy before he fights Bud.
His girlfriend.
So we're settled. We're settled on that.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight, but listen,
man, they'll fight.
They're gonna fight
in their geezers,
They're gonna fight, but by the time they do it, I'm gonna qualify for Social Security.
I feel like this is Bo versus Lewis. The only difference is they're both Americans, but that's what we are. This is the fight that got away. This is one of those fights that got away. We're not gonna get it. My question is, since we're all mostly agreed that this fight may not happen, there's a high probability that it doesn't. Who does Terrence Crawford fight?
He's going to have to go to Ortiz.
Ortiz or Ennis.
That's how you should fight Taylor.
He's going to have to take out one of the young bucks, mate, just to be like, yo, I'm still this guy. Remember, I'm not the one that's ducking. Look, I've taken out one of the young bucks. This punk over here, he's sprinting.
This might, I don't know. But I might be excited for this one, but I could see him fighting Prograis.
Prograis
not hell no.
No, Prograis
That's
not
not happening.
No,
Prograis not going to take that fight. Let me read the super chat.
Prograis refused to go to 147. I know that to be. I know that to be a fact.
He ain't going to go 47.
Got 3 super chats. Ricardo, appreciate you, bro. Just want to say thanks for the great boxing channel. Thank you for the super chat. Pullcheck says, no matter who wins, Ugass or Spence, PBC is not giving 2 belts to Bud. I agree. Unless they can lock him in 2, the only way Bud gets to fight anybody is
millions.
They got to lock him into a multi-fight deal. He has to get Al Heyman's face tattooed on his ass. It's the only way.
And a lot of money involved. Yeah.
A lot of fucking money. Spence ducks Crawford and becomes a farmer. I could see that happening. I could definitely see
y'all.
that.
So does Andrade and Yanni Beck make it to the purse bid on January 15th that's ordered?
No.
Or does Andrade dump the belt?
He dumps the belt.
No,
Eddie
I don't think he'll
Hearn-
do that. You think he'll do that?
No. Eddie Hearn did a Q&A about 2 weeks ago. Pardon me, 2 weeks ago. I took the screenshot of it because I was going to do a segment of it on the relay. And in it says 2 specific names, Gennady Golovkin, Jermall Charlo. And if not, we move up. So they're not close to getting Charlo. They're not going to get Gennady. Gennady's waiting for Murata. So we know what's next, bro.
Damn.
I say Errol, Terrence beats Errol to 154. I said get to that division first.
Nah, because what's he gonna do up there? Get frozen out again?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all PBC fighters at 54 anyway. So
Every
Well,
single
No,
that's
just
what
beat him to it. Beat him to
You
the
know,
to the
no,
weight
and
class
then
and call him out.
they'll make Al Heyman will
They're
make
trying to
Jermell
age him
stay
out.
at 54 just to age out
to
fucking
block,
Bud.
to age out Bud. That's all they're gonna fucking do.
The
I mean,
politics
damned
of
if he does
dancing,
and damned
man.
if he don't.
The only thing we can hope for, is that Castano beats Charlo.
Castano
That's the
won't
only.
fight him.
And
Castano won't fight him. All right, Castano won't fight him. All right, Castano told Tim Tszyu, bear in mind, Brian Castano is not a marquee fighter in America. I don't know why the fuck he said this. He says he has to fight Tim Tszyu in America. Why? Why?
That's not even where you're based.
Why? Why? You fucking fought you fought Michael Sorrow in his neck of the woods. You fought all these people. You have to fight in America?
We'll just change the goalposts and
Hey,
criteria.
you know, Spence's new nickname is Aero Sprint Jr.
Errol Sprint, that's what I said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
been calling him that for like the last 2 days. When I saw that,
Errol
yeah,
Had
Sprint.
me
Mr.
rolling,
Sprints.
man. I was cracking up.
He's on my doctorious list. Him and Tyson Fury doctorious list. Yeah.
Now I have a different question because I think I'm gonna get different answers. All right. Who's gonna buy the fight?
Can I go?
Jay, are you buying this fight?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Hang on, which fight? Which fight?
Spence Ugass pay-per-view.
I don't know. It's been pay-per-view for you guys. That's fucked up. For
It
us,
is,
it won't.
isn't it?
For us, I don't think it will be.
But it's a trade-off.
Or
Chan.
it might be £10.
It's a trade-off. You have to catch insomnia to see the fight. See?
Yeah. So would I do that?
Oh, see, no, I feel for Lady Chen. That week I was in London, staying up to watch fucking sports. It fucking sucked, yo.
Yeah.
Coming from the West Coast, dog. I was watching Monday Night Football, and I'm like, fuck.
On Sunday. You was watching Monday Night Football on Sunday.
Yo,
wild,
lady, I love
wild
fucking
out
London.
here,
I can't wait to go back for AJ Usyk too. I loved it.
Yeah.
Right now,
When
let
you
me
come,
go to Dan.
Holla when you come.
Let me go to Dan. Dan, are you buying this fight?
No.
No, fuck. That's fast. That's fucking fast.
No, man, I ain't buying it.
I'm
man.
pulling up with Ron Boy Fresh at the fights.
Y'all going to the fight?
It depends where it's at, and I use my miles. I'll go.
Y'all some good dudes, B. Y'all some good dudes.
I wouldn't be wasting my air miles on that.
Hey, but you know I ain't paying for the ticket. You know I'll get one of them freebies that they give out outside the day of the fight, Jules.
I ain't mad at that. Virtuoso, are you gonna buy this fight?
No, I'm not gonna buy the fight.
Are you gonna steal this fight?
No comment.
Are you?
No comment.
You Jules?
No.
We all are.
Nah, B, I don't
They'll
steal
plead the
shit.
fifth.
The only way I'm going to buy this fight, right, guys, and do that because usually if PBC does a pay-per-view, we may get it on Fight TV. So when we get it on Fight TV, for us, like the tank, not this last stupid one, the other last stupid one with Barrios, that was like £12 for us. That was like that, which equates to about $16. So do you understand what I'm saying? If the fight's going to be like a tenner, £10, £12, I'll buy and watch that fight. Because it's, but if I was you guys and they was charging me $80 and don't do it.
It's crazy out here, Chan. Got a super chat from Leonard Sterling. Shout out to Leonard Sterling, very knowledgeable guy on Twitter, knows women's boxing scene in and out. Y'all should follow him. He says manager trainer said Ellis, free agent in January, offered the Virgil fight after Roca win, purse dispute. Golden Boy Promotions relationship went downhill. Would take the Ben fight. This is in reference to Rashidi Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder he's been so inactive. I'm surprised a little bit that Matchroom hasn't picked up some of these guys. You know, I'm honestly surprised that Regis Prograis went to Probellum instead of Matchroom. But you know,
what is that? I know
Eddie can't sign everybody. I guess that's what that is.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be like the PBC stable and have everyone shelved, and there's only like 7 active fighters on the PBC out of 150 roster.
Exactly. Now I got a spicy question. This is for Ron. Is Gary Russell Jr. about to lose this belt?
Is he about to lose it or is he about to vacate it?
Did you see the guy he's fighting?
Yeah, I know.
Fucking middleweight, dog.
I know. I'm going to the Bagada for that fight too. I think Gary about to vacate. I think he about to bust a move somewhere because this motherfucker can't be doing all this goddamn talking and still down in 126. He's got to bust a move.
But if he
So
vacates to do what and to fight who?
I don't know, but he can't stay at 126 with all that motherfucking mouth. Slim. I'm tired of it.
And
Like
especially
he got
being that
he
inactive.
gotta bust a move, bro. Like he's not getting no credit box. He just talking. You doing all this motherfucking talking, but you ain't busting their move nowhere. You know what
Ronnie,
I'm saying? You at 126. You saying everybody ducking you, nobody wants smoke. You should have been up at you should already been at 130.
Ronnie, I know what
Yeah.
you did. You deflecting. You didn't answer my
What?
question, Ronnie. If he fight that big old man,
Man, girl, little once in a blue moon, Gary winning that.
you think
He
really?
winning
You
that.
think so?
Man,
That
he
look,
winning
look.
that too.
No.
I
He
seen
winning
that
that
dude
too.
next to Sean Porter. He made Sean
Yeah.
Porter look like a lightweight.
Yeah,
Y'all talking about
he a
Makayo?
big dude.
So you think he's not going to take the fight? Just will vacate.
No, he got to
mean,
take the fight. Is
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Like
so he's
The
got
fight
he's
is
going in.
done. Shit,
this
I
is
got my.
So why do you
I,
think he'll vacate?
shit,
Then?
I'd have booked my room for that shit. The
I'm gonna
fight is
say this.
goddamn
I'm gonna say this. Look, Gary Russell Jr. This is the longest stint of inactivity. Literally the longest.
Like,
This is
what is it?
coming.
Like 3 years?
Two. Usually Gary only fights once a year. This
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
he's only fought once in 2 years.
2
The guy
years.
he's fighting is huge, right? So
Mhm.
remember, this is the WBC, not the IBF. There's no rehydration clause. There's no 10-pound rehydration clause for title fights. So this guy could come in there 140, 150, whatever the fuck he is. Gary's a very, very, very small person.
Guy.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
talking about
Oh.
Makayo was naturally that big?
Mhm.
Dog, I could fit Gary in the breast pocket of this shirt, dog. He'd be
yeah,
in
I
there
know.
shadow boxing.
So that means he's not.
Yeah, no, Gary's small.
Yeah, that's
Gary's
crazy.
small. But he
Gary's
just can't stay at 126 doing all that fucking jaw.
Gary's fighting
Like, he
Godzilla,
gotta
man.
go
That's
up.
what it sounds like.
Wait. Hold on. How tall is Makayo?
Makayo taller than Porter, bro. That dude is
Yeah.
like
Oh,
5'8" or 9" or something. Like he's a big guy for
I didn't
that.
realize he was that fucking big. Why the
Bro,
fuck he fighting a dude
and
that small?
Gary is the Indian in the cupboard.
Oh my
He's
God.
he's the
Gary about to get knocked out, you know. Gary about to get knocked.
That's what I'm
Man,
trying
Gary
to
ain't
say.
doing
Like,
nothing.
Is this gonna be the Tom and Jerry show
Oh,
with Gary
shit.
Russell?
Said he's an
Gary-
Indian
Gary
in the
go with
cupboard,
this
too.
shit.
like you
Where'd
order,
get
look,
that?
you order Gary Russell on Amazon and you get the package and it's like this fucking big. This is Gary. He's a little cat. Yeah.
Tiny, isn't he?
It's like a paperweight. Like I'm like, yo, dog, like no bullshit though. Because it's the WBC and because they don't have a 10-pound rehydration clause like the IBF, which is normal for all of their title fights except unifications. I'm like, yo, dog, I don't see after 2 years of inactivity, I just don't see you winning this fight if you have this fight. Now, Ronnie's saying he gonna vacate, so I guess I should look out for that.
No. I'm saying he gonna get this fight, but I don't think he's gonna stay at 120. I don't. I think the pressure is on everybody for him to bust a move because he's just sitting there talking shit. So I think he gets this win.
I don't know, but
I
he's got
don't,
to do
man. Look,
something.
he can't
He's
stay
gotta
at
do
126 talking that shit. So he gotta move up 130, 135. He talking about he still wanted it's personal with him and Bud, man. If you don't shut your little ass up before I had Bud come to DC and fuck you up. I'm like, Bud.
Yo, listen. I ain't mad at the Bud shit, right? But you know what I would like, honest to God, and I know it's not gonna happen. I'm being real Christmas with the shit. I would like for Gary to go to Top Rank because it's fights at 130 for him at Top Rank.
Man,
It's fights
Gary
at 130.
can't go nowhere. Trust me.
go.
I was at when I was there when Gary had the meeting with Eddie Hearn. I sat like 2 rows behind him when they fought in DC on that motherfucking Haney card. Gary can't go nowhere, Slim. I'm telling you, that's the reason why he's stuck over there.
He said this is like I'm not like I believe you because it makes sense. But I remember Gary, the one that said that I'm not a PBC fighter. I can go where I want. I just have a good relationship with Al. That's what he said. But I figured, yo, this cat cannot leave because you can't leave, bro. Because look at your career, bro. Fighting once a year for the last 5 years.
4 years.
It's
5
5.
years.
It's
Yeah, he's
5.
fought like 3 times in 5 years, hasn't he?
and I'm like, yo,
in the whole time. Yeah.
you telling me that you don't want to make money? Eddie offered him $1 million for Josh Warrington before Josh lost the title to Lara. You telling me you didn't want $1 million, bro? You
He's
didn't
a
fight
part-time boxer.
Yeah, you know them. They always just think they just demand so much money that they're not even worth it. They think they're a certain marquee value, and they're just really not.
To me, I feel like I used to think that maybe they asked for an arm and a leg to sabotage the deal. But the more I think about it, I'm like, nah, that's just a cover story, bro. In reality, you know you can't take none of them fights. You couldn't take the Devin Haney fight.
Yeah, so pricing them, they're doing a fake price themselves
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
It's
like
fake.
you can't take, you couldn't take the money for Warrington, you couldn't take the money for Haney because
you're
I
not
see
allowed.
that you haven't fought shit, bro.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, why is he gonna go to Top Rank so he gets spanked by Shakur?
Yeah, because he would.
Because he would. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am old. I'm going to sleep.
Me too, babe.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Oh,
Been a
good
pleasure.
pleasure.
Good night, everybody.
See you later, Jules. Good
See
night,
y'all
babe.
on the next live. Always a
Capricorn
pleasure.
logic.
Good night, Lady
All right.
Chan.
Buenas noches. Good night,
Bye,
everyone.
Chan.